This is the opportunity that dreamers and achievers are waiting for. The direction you follow is the direction you make for yourself. We give out these experiences and possibilities. What you analyze right here will stay with you always. To find your opportunity, kickstart with Immaculate College for Women. The college serves as a springboard for students. Students from our college achieved university rankings including Lavanya R. first rank with a gold medal from the Department of Commerce, Keetna P. ranked 7th in the Department of Physics, Jennifer A. earned a 10th place from the Department of Commerce. The college offers courses in literally every discipline areas. UG courses with a wide range of subjects. Bachelor of Science BSc in Computer Science, Mathematics, Chemistry, Botany and Physics. Bachelor of Computer Applications BCA. Bachelor of Commerce BCom in General, Computer Application, Corporate Secretaryship. Bachelor of Arts BA in Tamil and English. Master degree programs with MSc Data Science, MSc Chemistry, MSc Mathematics, MA English and MCom. Numerous crash courses are designed to promote the talents and creativity of students like Artificial Intelligence, Internet of Things IoT, Multimedia, Web Designing, Tally with GST, Robotics, Choreography. The upcoming short courses: Drone Technology, Aeronautical Engineering, Typewriting and Shorthand, Arts and Crafts, Tailoring, Beautician, Fashion Designing, Baking and Confectionery, Tourism and Hospitality, Jewelry Making, Driving. Parchment courses are offered in collaboration with Longford International College including Aviation, Leadership and Psychology to add extra credentials. Enroll in ICW to set yourself up for success. Applications are open for the year 2022 to 2023. Time is running out to apply for our college campus. Hurry up and get in. To know more about our college in detail, check out our college official website. Become an ICW student for a bright future. A new opportunity awaits. Let's get this started. Immaculate College for Women. Learn, light and liberate. பெண்களுக்காக உருவாக்கப்பட்ட சிறந்ததோர் கல்வி நிறுவனம் எமது இம்மாக்குலேட் மகளிர் கல்லூரி. எம் கல்லூரி தற்போது இடம் மாற்றப்பட்டு புதுப்பொலிவுடன் புத்துயிர் பெற்று விளங்குகிறது. காற்றோட்டமான வகுப்பறைகள், திறமை மிக்க பேராசிரியர்கள், மாணவிகளுக்கு பேருந்து வசதிகள், வேலை வாய்ப்பை உருவாக்க சான்றிதழ் படிப்புகள் என அனைத்து வசதிகளும் உள்ளன. எமது கல்லூரியில் பயின்ற மாணவிகள் பல்கலைக்கழக தரவரிசை பட்டியலிலும் இடம்பெற்றுள்ளனர். வணிகவியல் துறையை சார்ந்த ஆர் லாவண்யா முதல் இடத்தை பிடித்து தங்கப்பதக்கம் பெற்றுள்ளார். இயற்பியல் துறையை சார்ந்த பி கீர்த்தனா 7வது இடத்தையும், வணிகவியல் துறையை சார்ந்த ஏ ஜெனிஃபர் 10வது இடத்தையும் பிடித்து சாதனை புரிந்துள்ளனர். எம் கல்லூரியில் இளங்கலை மற்றும் முதுகலை பட்டப்படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றது. இளங்கலை பாடப்பிரிவினில் தமிழ், ஆங்கிலம், வர்த்தக கணினி அறிவியல், கணிதம், இயற்பியல், கணினி அறிவியல், வேதியியல், தாவரவியல், கணினி பயன்பாடு ஆகிய பாடப்பிரிவுகள் உள்ளன. முதுகலை பாடப்பிரிவில் தரவு அறிவியல், வேதியியல், கணிதம், ஆங்கிலம், வர்த்தகம் முதலிய பாடப்பிரிவுகள் உள்ளன. மேலும் மாணவிகளின் திறமையை ஊக்குவிக்கும் வகையில் அவர்களின் விருப்பத்திற்கேற்ப பல்வேறுபட்ட சான்றிதழ் படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றன. மல்டிமீடியா, இயக்கவியல் வடிவமைப்பு, கைபேசி செயலி உருவாக்கம், விமானம் பற்றிய அறிவு, உளவியல், தலைமைத்துவம், ஓவியம், சமையற்கலை, செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு திறன், வலைத்தளம் வடிவமைப்பு, அழகுக்கலை பயிற்சி, அணிகலன்கள் வடிவமைத்தல், நடன அமைப்பு, தையற்கலை, தட்டச்சு மற்றும் சுருக்கெழுத்து போன்ற பல்வேறு படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றன. உங்கள் பெண் பிள்ளைகளுக்கு ஒளிமயமான எதிர்காலத்தை அமைத்து தர இம்மாக்குலேட் மகளிர் கல்லூரியில் சேர்ப்பீர். 2022ஆம் கல்வி ஆண்டிற்கான சேர்க்கை நடைபெறுகிறது. சேர்க்கைக்கு முந்துங்கள். மேலும் தகவல்களை தெரிந்து கொள்ள கல்லூரியின் அதிகாரப்பூர்வ இணையதளத்தை அணுகவும்.
Technology is art, is a sourcing exercise of the human imagination. A very good afternoon to the Excellency, honorable guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to extend a warm welcome to everyone attending the International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research 2022. We are currently in this session of the conference, and it offers a great opportunity for participants to share their recent theoretical understanding, research findings, and experience in dealing with the emerging technologies. There will be presentations from various members during this conference that deals with cutting edge topics. We need to embrace technology to make learning more engaging, because when students are engaged and they are interested, that where learning takes place. Now I call upon Ms. S. Sublakshmi to present the paper entitled Comparative, uh, Comparative Analysis of Academic Performance in Government and Private School using ID3.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. My paper title is Comparative Analysis of Academic Performance in Government, Aided and Private Schools using Decision Tree Induction ID3. In my paper, the agendas are Introduction, Abstract, Decision Tree Induction, Data Collection, Implementation, Result and Conclusion. Introduction is nothing but educational data mining is a promising area of research, and it has a specific requirements not presented in other domains. It concerns with developing methods that discover knowledge from data come from educational environment. A decision tree is a tree in which each branch node represents a choice between a number of alternatives, and each leaf node represents a decision. Decision trees are commonly used for gaining information for the purpose of decision making. Abstract. The idea which is used in my paper is the behavior and the academic performance of government aided and private school students are compared based on their locality. It's nothing but rural and urban. The method which is used in my paper is decision tree induction ID3 algorithm, which is applied to predict the behavior of the student based on the locality. A tool has been developed to pre-process the data provided that feeds into Tanagra data mining software to profile students' performance based on their locality. The result which is getting at last is that the performance of the students and the locality are negatively correlated. That is, the performance of the students are not based on the locality. There are two classes in decision tree induction method. We are having a information gain. There are two classes P and N. Class P depends on students from rural areas. Class N depends on the students from urban areas. Data collection. For my research, I collected student data from various schools managements like government, aided, and private in the academic of 2013 and 14. 875 personal records and academic records of students, those who are studied in 8th to 12th standard. The data are collected through the questionnaires, which consist of 55 questions. There are 64 attributes presented in the data set. From that 64 attribute, only 21 attributes are used to classification, and then decision tree is generated based on information gained attribute selection method. This is a table which I collected the data set. The attributes are home, gender, management, medium, transport, willingness of the students, goal, assignment, special classes, and academic performance. That is academic performance based on the grades. Here we are having four categories: A, B, C, and D. Highest gain attributes, it's nothing but to obtain by the formula gain of A and entropy E of A. The result obtained by the data mining tool Tenegra shows that the management is the highest gain attribute for the above data set. From the result, we obtained that there is a correlation between the locality and the behavior of the student. Implementation. I used Tenegra data mining software to implement all the data sets, and at last I get the decision tree. There are four steps in the implementation. First one, loading Tenegra data mining software. Second one is importing all the data sets in that software. Third one is selecting the data. It's nothing but the 21 attributes. And last, we execute the ID3 algorithm and generate Sorry for the technical issues. I continue my presentation. So implementation, I use Tenegra data mining software, which is used to implement the data which I collected and importing all data and selecting the attributes. At last, execute ID3 algorithm, which is used to generate decision tree. There are four steps: loading Tenegra data mining software, importing data set, selecting the data, that is the attribute which is I collected, and last execute ID3 algorithm and generate decision tree. At last, I got the decision tree, which has the root node as the management, which is the highest gain value. It has three child: government, government aided, and private, and each has four child: A, B, C, D, and each one it has rural and also urban students. Result of my research paper is most of the students from rural are studied in the government school. Most of the students from urban area are studied in the aided and private school. The correlation between the locality of the students and their academic performance is negative. That is minus 0.004 and also null. Thus, there is no correlation between the locality of the students and academic performance. At last, conclusion of my paper is decision tree construction algorithm ID3 have been applied for the problem to obtain the accuracy. Analysis has been made on the constructed tree based on the students' locality and behavior with their academic performance. Some of the students from the rural are not coming out from their living place for continuing their education, but it is obtained that the students coming from rural areas has awareness of education from the result. And last, thank you one and all for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for delivering an outstanding presentation. Information is the lifeblood of medicine, and health information technology is designed to be circulatory system. For that information, here comes Ms. S. Chitra to expose her paper on effective analysis of kidney disease prediction using HRRN algorithm.
Good afternoon to one and all. So I am Mrs. S. Chitra, research scholar, doing my research under the guidance of Jayalashmi Madam, in the Department of School of Computer Sciences, Vistas, Chennai. And my title is Effective Analysis of Chronic Kidney Disease Prediction Using HRNN Algorithm. So this is index about the presentation, abstract, introduction, literature review, proposed system, conclusion and references. And abstract is IoT in healthcare provides us the advantage of monitoring, analyzing, diagnosing, and controlling of the different diseases. People who have a high risk of cardiovascular disease may also have a chance of getting kidney diseases, and it can be treated accordingly with the help of historical medical records. Machine learning is introduced to find priori for the prediction and analysis of the treatment. The main objective of this research is to build a predictive model for the CKD, that is chronic kidney disease, using machine learning algorithm, hybrid recurrent neural network. So introduction. Health is wealth is a very old proverb, but it is true forever. Quality of life can be improved if we can achieve smart healthcare applications like emergency healthcare, prediction and treatment of diseases. Healthcare plays a major role in enlightening the people's health level and increases the worth of life. According to the overall connected healthcare system, the period from 2017 to 2022 is the growth phase of healthcare application that accelerate the healthcare industries. Thus, the healthcare application is constantly providing new tools as the efficiencies, which makes up the integrated healthcare sector and ensures better patient care. With this, it was observed that the healthcare costs were reduced significantly, and further, the treatment outcomes have also improved. However, in developing and developed states, chronic diseases are rapidly growing, such as cardiac disease, diabetes, and kidney disease. Thir- 30 million of adults are projected to be diagnosed with CKD, and furthermore, most of them are not aware of it. Analysis of CKD are complex, and it is escalating the damage role of kidney over interval of years and months. Nevertheless, in order to have a healthy life cycle, an individual need to have appropriate information about sustainers, realization of hazardous diseases, and so on. Accomplishment of such system needs an active contribution and involvement of users. Our aim is to propose a system to predict chronic kidney diseases. And literature review, and some of the papers are here, and so Lakshmana Prabhu presented an IoT with cloud-based clinical decision support system to predict CKD. They applied particle swarm optimization feature selection to deep neural network algorithm to improve the prediction of CKD. And Abdilas et al. Presented a machine learning based model to predict CKD in smart cities with the help of cloud computing technology. They used LR and NN technique, which can diagnose the disease anywhere and anytime with good accuracy. And Chalaman proposed a machine learning techniques such as k nearest neighbors, support vector visions, and logistic regression and decision tree classifiers for predicting a chronic kidney disease using clinical data. ET-TAN implement the artificial intelligence system to forecast the possible risks such as kidney disease and diabetics, as a result producing 90.54% and 87.88% respectively. So this is proposed system, and our aim is to utilize a machine learning technique to anticipate chronic kidney illness. CKD occurs when your tissues become damaged and unable to purify blood as effectively as they should. Because the damage to our kidney happens progressively over time, the strategy is referred to this as chronic. Waste may collect in the body as just a result of disaster. Our other health issues might arise as a result of CKD. It affects 10% of the world's population, a million die every year. Doctors are unable to detect the condition. So this system predicts CKD by automation based on the HRNN. Is a classification. This is a classification method used here. The technique is straightforward to implement and perform well when dealing with huge data sets. It has been used because it is capable of estimating the parameters required for classification using just a little quantity of data during the training phase. This is based on the proposed system uses a feature extraction and HRNN for features classification. And here, smart devices are used to record the data of the patients frequently. For example, stress levels, sleep quality, blood sugar level, heart rate, and calories burned, irrespective of their location, whether the patient is at home or in the hospital. HRNN is one of the deep learning architecture, profound autoencoders and convolutional neural network are instance of profound learning models. To store in the internal memory, HRNN used in which data is transferred when it is executed from the previous input. It changes the current forward process natures for adjusting the existing input. And then regarding the data set, we used the data set from the University of California Irvine repository. This dataset has 400 occurrences with 25 characteristics, 14 of which would be classified and 11 of which are statistic. There are 14 category attributes and 11 numerical attributes in total. There are just two values in the output variable. CKD indicates successful identification of kidney disease and not CKD for null identification of kidney disease. Data pre-processing. First, an uncontrolled attribute filter known as numeric cleaner are employed to classify the missing values across all attributes. If the number of missing values are significantly less than the total number of instances, the instances with the missing values were destroyed using the unattended instance filters remove value rules. Whenever the number of unknown entries in an attribute exceeds a certain threshold value, the attribute is destroyed. The missing values in the data set were replaced with the attribute mean value in this case. And for feature selection, as well as attribute selections are being used to detect and remove unwanted and redundant features from the data set. They do not contribute to prediction accuracy or may actually reduce model accuracy. There are two broad methods to the feature selection. One is wrapper technique. The wrapper technique is used in this to determine the most precise collection of the 24 characteristics capable of producing high quality detection of CKDs. The induction algorithm, which operates like a black box, is used to pick the subset attribute in the wrapper method. The wrapper strategy is that it searches for feasible parameters and because of its robustness, uses best first search as a tool in this study. The goal is to choose the most promising group. The best first search ends when the objective is reached. Because it is an optimization issue, the searching can be stopped at any moment and the best solution identified so far is returned. Our next technique is embedded technique. It uses a embedded technique to create and store security detection features, resulting in good prediction, which also eliminating unnecessary and absolute attributes. Embedded approaches determine whether features contribute to model correctness during the development process. And this is the algorithm which is used to identify the CKD algorithm. So first step is to analyze the data set and calculate the probability for each attribute M, Z, N, and Q. This is a formula we used here. And fourth step divides the probability by the Q. Finally, by comparing the findings, assign each parameter value to one of the class categories. So with this, it identifies whether the patient has CKD or non-CKD. So this is some of the comparative graph based on four attributes: cholesterol level, heart rate, range, age distribution, and blood pressure range. And regarding the confusion matrix, it gives the total number of correct and incorrect predicted values provided by the prediction model in comparison with the actual dataset classification. And the confusion matrix is represented by n cross n matrix, wherein it denotes the number of classes which you used. Validation parameters calculate the precision and recall value, which is listed here. And about the conclusion, the system developed a unique approach for CKD identification using a combination of machine learning methods such as HRNN algorithm. We assessed a cohort comprising 400 patients, 250 of whom had early stage CKD. This data set has come noisy values that are missing. As a result, classification algorithms now have the capacity to deal with the missing and noisy inputs. We utilized two strategies for feature detection: a wrapper method as well as the embedded technique. These methods assisted in reducing overfitting and identifying the most relevant predictive variables for CKD. Notably, the outcomes of this experiment introduced additional factors that classifiers utilized to identify CKD more effectively than current formula, and FRNN have the highest prediction accuracy rates. Machine learning has filled in the clinical field to make instruments and assesses information connecting with sicknesses. As a result, machine learning technique plays a critical role in achieving illness diagnosis in advance. These are the some of the references which is used to prepare. Thank you.
Your presentation emphasized everything good in a simple. It was beyond excellent, ma'am. If you ever wondered how numbers are factored, no worries. We have RSA encryption algorithm to encrypt and decrypt message over the internet. I now call upon Ms. Catherine Lamoria to unveil her research paper on integration of reverse Sharma almond clipper with redefense clipper.
Good afternoon to one and all. My topic is integration of Redifan cipher with RSA algorithm for data security using a Gaussian interpolation formula. And my abstract is Gaussian backward interpolation, Gaussian first forward interpolation formula, ASCII values, cryptographic algorithm, RSA, hybrid algorithm, SRNN, and then two key pair. Data security is a crucial concern that ought to be managed to help protect vital data. Cryptography is one of the conventional approaches for securing data and is generally considered a fundamental data security component that provides privacy, integrity, confidentiality, and authentication. In this presentation, a hybrid data security algorithm is proposed by the integrating traditional Redifan cipher, RSA, and Gaussian interpolation formulas. The integration raises the security strength of RSA to the fifth degree. The Gaussian first forward interpolation is used to encrypt the ASCII values of the message, after which is traditional RSA is used to encrypt and decrypt the message in the second and third levels. The last stage employs Gaussian backward interpolation to decrypt the data again. The integration helps to cater to factorization problem of the traditional RSA. Comparative analysis was performed using four different algorithms: RSA, SRNN, two key pair algorithms, and the proposed algorithm. It is proven that when the data size is small, the encryption and decryption times are lower for the proposed algorithm but higher when the data size is big. Introduction. The provision of a protocol and then processes necessary to secure a communication channel when an assumed third party exists is considered cryptography. Cryptographic algorithms are divided into symmetric and asymmetric keys. The symmetric algorithms require a single key only for the encryption and decryption of data. Asymmetric algorithm, on the other hand, require both public and private keys for encryption and decryption of data. Redifan cipher. The Redifan cipher is advanced of Railfan cipher, wherein Railfans require the plain text is arranged in a diagonal and reading in sequence of row to produce a cipher text. But in Redifans, the plain text may start at any point in the cycle, is written in zigzag, and is taken off by rows according to a key. The key types are indicated in the solutions. The Railfan cipher may be made more secure when a numerical key is used in addition to the initial transportation. The scrambling of data is done using the public key, while the private key is made known only to the receiver, which is meant for the decryption of the data. The maiden asymmetric algorithm was proposed by Hellman, which ensures secured communication as well as data security. A counter algorithm termed RSA, which was lower time complexity based on prime number factorization, was proposed in 1977 and is patented and revised Adishammer and then Len Altman RSA, which was published in 1978. In this algorithm, two prime numbers are used to produce the public and private key. When the keys are created, the prime numbers are no more considered and or can be discarded. RSA is a public block cipher algorithm, and as a result, all the plain texts are scrambled at the time using bits based on the same key. In the academia and then industry sector, a series of research has been conducted in finding better ways of improving data security. A lot of researchers directed their efforts towards achieving optimum encryption and decryption times, while others considered strengthening the security of data. The essence of this paper is to propose an enhanced hybrid RSA algorithm by integrating the traditional Redifern cipher, RSC and Gaussian interpolation formula. The proposed algorithm seeks to strengthen data security by raising the encryption and decryption stages of the traditional RSC algorithm to the fifth degree, thereby making it resistant against the factorization problem of RSA. Methodology. The proposed methodology of integrating traditional Redifern cipher, RSA, Gaussian interpretation formulas for the purpose of strengthening data security. The Gaussian forward and backward interpolation are integrated with the traditional RSA algorithm to enhance security strength by addressing the factorization problem of RSA. Their approach involves third degree of encryption and second degree level of decryption. Exploratory observation of the proposed hybrid algorithm is this. The first stage is the message is encrypted through a Redifern cipher, and in second stage, convert the encrypted message to the encrypted to ASCII value, and in third stage is apply Gaussian first forward interpolation on ASCII values, and in fourth stage is key will be generated, and in fifth stage the encrypt the message using the formula. At the sixth stage, decrypt the message, and in seventh stage, applying the Gaussian forward differential information on decrypt message. In the first forward Gaussian differential formula, this is the formula we are using, and then in RSC algorithm is this. RSC was proposed in 1977 and its patent were raised, and then Schimmer, Allman, which is published in 1978. The public cryptographic scheme per literature is known to have a lot of weakness, also with high execution time. Hence, the effort by research to propose a variant or RSA to raise the security strength while reducing execution time. And then formula for first backward Gaussian differential formula. This is my result of a proposed algorithm. The hybrid algorithm is implemented employing a C-sharp language. In this table, it can be detected that the proposed algorithm encryption decryption time of data size 1 KB is the lowest. On the other hand, as a text size increased to a 10 KB, the encryption time is higher than 2 key size, and the SRNN, but lower than the traditional RSA algorithms. Again, the decryption time for the proposed algorithm is higher than RSA, SRNN, but lower than the 2 key size. This is a result of obtaining the ASCII values for all the alphabets in the Redifern's encrypted message and applying the Gaussian first forward and then backward interpolation formula on the values. This increased the computational time for both the encryption and decryption process. And in the pros of the hybrid algorithm, the hybrid algorithm security strength is based on the Redifern's encrypt conversion of the encrypt alphabets in the message to ASCII value, applying first forward Gaussian interpolation formula on ASCII values. This helps to difficult for any intruder to fish out the plain text being sent onto the cloud. The result is then acted upon using the traditional RSA scheme. The RSK scheme consists of three stages: generation of keys, encryption, and decryption of data. Another robust of a hybrid algorithm depends on the second decryption process performed on the decryption from RSA decode output. This is attained through the use of the Gaussian backward interpolation formula. And in conclusion for this paper is, this paper developed an enhanced RSA scheme by the integration of classic Redifern cipher and Gaussian interpolation formula with the traditional RSA, which has raised the security strength of traditional RSA. In addition, it has increased the encryption to the third degree level and also the decryption to the second degree. And then future work is, this proposed algorithm has a stronger security strength than the traditional RSA, but it would be appropriate that future works are done to compare execution metrics of the hybrid algorithm and the traditional RSA on different machines with higher specifications. Thank you for your valuable time.
Thank you, ma'am, for taking your time to prepare for us such a wonderful presentation. You know what? As a subset of artificial intelligence, ML and NLP can dramatically improve human intelligence. Now, let me invite Ms. Josvina Sahana to present the paper on systematic answer script screening using NLP and ML.
Good afternoon to all. I am Josephine Sahana, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Cooperate College for Women, Cuddly. I am going to present a paper on systematic answer script screening using natural language processing and machine learning algorithms. Topics going to be discussed are introduction, review of literature, problem definition and proposed system, research methodology, NLP and ML techniques, conclusion and references. Introduction. Performance evaluation of students is essential to check the feasibility of improvement. Regular evaluation not only improves the performance of the student, but also it helps in understanding where the student is lacking. It takes a lot of manual efforts and time to complete the evaluation process, as even one college may contain thousands of students. The manual evaluation of subjective answer is very much time consuming and requires lots of manpower. And also, it is varied from person to person according to their way of evaluation, mood at the time of correction, and interrelation between student and moderator. There is a chance of giving two different marks to the same answer. To, to reduce these drawbacks, automated evaluation system is needed. There are multiple systems available for evaluation of multiple choice questions, but there is no provision for descriptive and subjective exams. But the subjective exams are the backbone of all the universities, and also in this modern and pandemic situation, the world moves towards automation in a virtual manner. So there is a need for automation in answer evaluation system also. This paper aims to propose a method of an automated answer script screening system using NLP and ML, which will resolve the drawbacks of existing system. In order to carry out the research work, literature survey is done to gain the knowledge about the existing available system. This will give more significant insights and clear idea about the topic of research. Prince Sinha et al. And in their paper, Answer Evaluation Using Machine Learning, proposed an algorithm which will evaluate the theoretical answers. In the proposed system, machine will take the scanned copy of answer script as input and evaluate based on keywords and length of the answer and produce marks as output. Vishal Bonsle et al. In their paper titled An Adaptive Approach for Subjective Answer Evaluation proposed a method which used Stopford removal to generate keywords. After keyword generation, they check for similarity and relation of keywords along with the sentence. They also use data duplication technique, which is used to find the uniqueness of answer and grades are generated. Rosie Salami et al. In their paper entitled Intelligent Short Answer Assessment Using Machine Learning proposed a method which uses the scanned image of answer script as input and using optical character recognition algorithm, text is extracted. And also, the evaluation is done based on the number of keyword matching and grammatical meaning. Based on that, marks were assigned. Pooja Gudi et al. Did a study on online evaluation of the descriptive answers with short text matching. They used machine learning approach to solve the problem using text mining and mainly focused on short answer matching. Chanda Roy Chandara et al. Team, in their paper entitled Case-Based Modeling of Answer Points to Expedite Semi-Automation Evaluation of Subjective Paper, propose a model to evaluate subjective answer paper using semi-automated evaluation technique, and the answers are evaluated by considering semantic meaning and length of the sentences. Aditi Tulsekar et al. In their paper entitled Subjective Answer Evaluation System proposed a model that evaluates answer by matching keywords and synonyms with standard answer. They also check grammar and spelling of the words. Marks are assigned on the basis of correctness of the answer. Saloni et al. In their paper entitled AI-based e-assessment system proposed a model which consists of algorithm that compares the student answers with three reference answers An answer with most closest result with high precision is taken into consideration. They also use algorithm based on TF-IDF, grammar check, word moving distance, and also they use similarity finding techniques. From the above studies, we may find that most of the systems were based on short text evaluation, keyword matching, synonyms matching, and grammar matching. From that, we can formulate the research problem and the solution is proposed. Problem definition. The problem is formulated as the manual system for evaluation of subjective answers involves lots of time and effort of the evaluator. Subjective answers have various parameters which can also be used for evaluation system. So the proposed we proposed a method that uses the natural language processing and machine learning techniques to improve the performance of automated evaluation system. By using this method, evaluators' time and effort spent for evaluation is effectively used for other resources. This system can compute and provides the result rapidly with transparency. It will also intend to deliver feedback which aims to assist the educators to show progress in their academic performance. Methodology. This research work is carried out as follows. The system will consist of two sections. One is for student and another one is for evaluator. Evaluator can create question based and answer based which is used for evaluation. Students can upload their answer script as PDF, JPG, etc. Then NLP techniques are applied for pre-processing, vectorization, and machine learning is used to train the model and the marks grades are generated as output. Natural language processing is branch of artificial intelligence. In NLP, we are teaching computers to understand, interpret, and manipulate human language. Machine learning is a subset of AI, and it comprises of algorithm that helps computers to learn from the data, just like human would learn by taking the information and perform tasks. In NLP, we works with lots of data in the form of text, speech, image, etc. Hence, ML algorithms are applied so that we can get accurate result. Steps involved in the research process are data collection, pre-processing, vectorization, similarity checking, model building, train the data set, model evaluation and deployment, monitor and update the model. Data collection. In order to carry out the research, the data should be collected. In our system, the required data is going to be collected from the students and also from the public repositories. Pre-processing. Text document need to be processed and made ready for the machine. This step is called pre-processing and involves the following techniques. First step is remove punctuation. First of all, we should remove all the punctuation marks like comma, semicolon, colon, etc. from the text as they carry less weight. Next is tokenization. It is a process of breaking the strings into token. It is used to break the complex sentences into words and understand the importance of each word. Next is stemming. Stemming is also used to reduce the number of tokens by normalizing the word to its base form, that is, by finding its root words. It is worked by cutting the end or beginning of the words. Next is stop word removal. Now we need to remove all the stop words from the token list. Stop words are the words which occurs frequently in a sentence but carries little weight. Lemmatization. It is similar to stemming, but stemming just removes the last or first few characters of a word and often leads to incorrect meaning and spelling. But lemmatization considers the context and converts the word to its meaningful base, from which it is called as lemma. Vectorization. Whenever we apply any algorithm in NLP, it works on numbers and we can't directly feed our text into that algorithm. So that the text need to be transformed into a vector. This process is known as vectorization and involves the following techniques. BOW, that is bag of words. In this model, it is used to pre-process the text by converting it into a bag of words, which keeps a count of the total occurrences of most frequently used words. Next is TF-IDF. It stands for term frequency and inverse document frequency. It is also used for converting words to vectors. It assigns the weight values to the terms according to the importance of across the document. Count vectorization. It creates document term matrix which contains the count of each word token in the text response. N-gram vectorization. It also creates the document term matrix which also considers context of the word depending upon the value of n. Next step is similarity checking. So similarity is used to determine how the two text documents close to each other in terms of their context meaning. To check the similarity between the documents, the following techniques were used. Cosine similarity. Cosine similarity is one of the metrics used to measure the text similarity between two documents irrespective of size. The cosine similarity of two documents will range from 0 to 1. If the score is 1, then two documents have same orientation. If the score is closer to 0, then two documents has this similarity. Next is Jacquard similarity. It is defined as an intersection of two documents divided by the union of the two documents. Here also the score ranges from 0 to 1. Here two documents are identical. Jacquard score is 1. If there is no common words, then the score is 0. Next is word movers distance. Unlike the above two, it defines the dissimilarity between two text documents as the minimum amount of distance that the embedded words on the document need to travel to reach the embedded words of another document. If the distance of the words need to travel is less, that means the documents are similar. If the distance they traveled is larger, then the documents are dissimilar. For train the model, machine learning algorithms are used. All the chosen algorithms are supervised machine learning techniques and mainly used for classification. So naive-based algorithm. It is based on the Bayes theorem and used for classification task. SVM, support vector machine. It classifies data using hyperplanes. In this, we pass the data as well as the label of the classes to train the model. Next is decision tree. It is supervised machine learning technique where the data is continuously split according to certain parameters and the model is trained. Random forest. It is also widely used in classification and regression problem. It builds decision trees on different sample and takes the majority vote for classification. We are also going to analyze the performance of above machine learning algorithm with deep learning. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning which is essentially a neural network with three or more layers. This neural network attempts to simulate the behavior of human brain which helps to optimize the accuracy. The reason for choosing deep learning is in recent years, a variety of deep learning models have been applied to NLP to improve, accelerate, and automate the text analytics function and NLP features. Moreover, these models and methods offer superior solution to convert unstructured data into valuable data and insights. So, by using deep learning algorithm, we may get more efficient, fast, and accurate result. So after the model is generated, the data set is trained and the output of the model is evaluated and the system is deployed. Finally, the model is monitored for the future updation. Conclusion. We proposed subjective answer checker system using NLP and machine learning would be helpful for online universities, schools and colleges level exam. During this COVID-19 pandemic, many schools, colleges and universities and many other educational institutes conduct the online exams, but these examinations only include multiple choice questions. These types of exam is efficient to check the students' aptitude skill, but MCQ type exams are not able to check the theoretical knowledge of the student. The proposed system attempts to calculate the subjective answers. It calculates the student's answer based on the keywords. By judging against the model answer and the student's answer, marks are allocated to the students. Therefore, our proposed system can evaluate MCQ as well as one sentence questions. Further, it can be extended to evaluate answers written in other language and mathematical expression also. Thank you.
Your presentation skill are next to none. We can't thank you enough for the great job you did, ma'am. Apps for virtual education come with the motto learning should be brought to the people, not the other way around. Erika, the mobile app, is one such example by Abhidarni and Almuin Jabino.
Hello everyone, this is Abhidharni from Immaculate College for Women, India. We have developed a mobile application named Educo. Let me start by saying a few words about our own application. The main purpose of creating this app is that the schools were shut down in the pandemic situations. So the virtual classrooms play a vital role in the education platform. For that, we created an app to enrich the education manifesto. In this slide, the features were as follows. Attendance, in this slide, the features were as follows. Attendance, emotion detection, chat facility, my class, call facility, homework submission portal. Now we move on to the admin panel. An admin panel URL will be provided to the administrator of the particular institution. Here the staff members assigned to their particular classes. Next, adding a student. The first step is in Educore is adding a student. Teacher need to add a student once they log in with the teacher access provided by the administrator. After that, it will be necessary to train a face of the students to recognize an attendee. It employs machine learning algorithm which find, capture, store and analyze facial features in order to match them with images of the individuals in the pre-existing database during the online classes. The next part is virtual classrooms. The virtual classroom creation option is only available to teachers. Once the virtual classroom link is created by the teacher, the students can enter after taking attendance to facial recognition attendance system. The pop-up will show attendance marked successfully if the face already drawing. Within the virtual class, we included the features like live stream option, low bandwidth mode, and recording option. We provided the chat facility feature also. In Educore, usually the conversation is initiated by the students. With the use of Educore, teachers are expected to communicate with the students in a timely and effective manner. Here is an visualized example for live chatting as the student face and the teacher face. In the Educore application, teachers can make phone calls towards students.
Hello everyone, myself S. Almubin Jabina from 3rd CS, Immaculate College for Women, Kadlur, India. I will continue to present the rest of this presentation. I am going to explain the next feature of Educo, its mood detection. Humans are used to taking a non-verbal cues from facial expressions. Now, computers are also getting better to reading emotions. Generally, there are 4 popular methods for classifying a mood detection. The one is deep face. Here, we don't need to train and it was a extreme beginners. The next one is PyTorch. Here, deep learning architecture playing a major role and it is also trained from scratch. The another one is TensorFlow. These methods are only used for mood detection in the Educore application. Here, we can able to train images and we can use transfer learning. The last one is MATLAB. Here, the images will train using a transfer learning. Why we chose TensorFlow for mood detection? TensorFlow is open source. It is rich in machine learning algorithms, data visualization, keras-friendly, scalable, and great architectural support. Let's see how TensorFlow works in mood detection. For the first, we need to get labeled data of faces with the emotions. The data must be consist of 48 into 48 pixel grayscale images. The faces have been automatically registered so that the face is more or less centered and occupies about the same amount of space in each image. It will recognize the facial recognition into one of 7 categories. They are angry, disgust, fear, happy, sad, surprise, and neutral.
The following example shows how mode detection works in Educo. Our face will be captured either through image or live. After that, it will display our emotions in percentages once it has captured our faces. The next feature of Educore is Work Submission Portal. Empower teaching and learning from anywhere. Give your class more flexibility and mobility. Here we are going to see how the homework submission portal works. Here is the example how work submission portal works. Process involved in work submission portal. The first is submission. Students submit their exam papers or assignments by uploading a picture in JPG or PDF format which is stored in their internal or external memory of mobile phone or PC. The next step is checking. Teacher verifies that whether all the students submitted or not. The next step is correction. Teachers can correct the students' work without downloading in it their mobile or PC for storage purpose. The next one is evaluation. Teachers can evaluate the final marks for the students based on the performance, and the mark will also visible for these students. Previously, we had a great time with friends and family, but suddenly COVID-19 struck. We needed to maintain a distance. Meanwhile, WHO announced that lockdown was worldwide. As a result of this, the ban on public gatherings, shopping malls, and parks was implemented. Educational institutions were also closed throughout the world. In that time, the educational department chose online learning as a way to keep students focused. We hope Educore helps the students to predict their successful future. Thank you.
Your presentation not only illuminated us, but it also set the stage for the creative development. The term artificial neural network describes a type of technology that does not involve any particular algorithm, but a network with weights that can be adjusted so that it can learn. It's my pleasure to invite Reverend Sister Dr. Maria Sami to present on this topic.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I am Sister Maria from Immaculate College for Women, Kadalur. I am here to present my presentation. My presentation is analysis and development of a feature selection and deep learning method for detecting and locating personal things using audio signals and image processing. In human beings, we have a problem. We have a problem of losing our things. When we go for work, and we have usually we look for our things. Where did I keep my mobile? Where I kept my pen or pencil or pen drive or specs or anything? So that is the biggest problem. And personally, me myself, I have a problem. So every day, whenever I am in my room, I usually think that I have to create an application for my lost things. Every time I usually look for my things. I spend every day at least 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm here to find a solution. So the situations where we come across, we forget our things like absent-minded. When we are in absent-minded, or work stress, urgent moments when we go for some seminars or anywhere, some programs, or before going to work, or important moments, a feeling of nevermind. We usually forget, and where we get. Our parents, our brothers and sisters, they help us to bring our things. So here I have a solution, and this is a small video which can tell us how we are worried when we miss our things. So the logic is very simple. The logic is very simple. What I'm going to do, I take my mobile, I record my voice, purse, pen drive, specs, or anything, my camera, or whatever may be, I record my voice, and also I take a photograph of each and everything. And then I store it. I store the data as well as the image. So I store, and then I can have my things list. Even if, for example, if anybody comes I store my things. And then once I said that, where did I keep my mobile phone? Then automatically there is a signal sound. There is a sound, it comes from the things where it is. So using the sensor, we are connecting. That is what I was trying to do something, and I got some solutions, and it is also on the process. Now, first step, we have to prepare a data. Data is nothing but a list of the things. List of this, for example, for 10 things I have, like mobile phone, watch, smartwatch, specs. So I recorded my voice, and I have the images also. And you can see this one here. Yeah, I have my things listed. So, and also it is recorded. I will show you at the end. Recorded. Then, yeah, here I come. For example, this is my pen drive. Misplaced pen drive. So I don't know where I kept. So what is the logic here? I say that my pen drive with my voice. For example, I have my base voice. I say that my voice will be recognized. If somebody comes and tells that pen drive, it should not be detected. So pen drive, I have to say pen drive, and then automatically. So I'm going to use the algorithm to search a particular thing using image processing and audio signal processing. And some of the logics also I'm going to use. And this is the way this program works. And for example, I'm using this kind of algorithm. One is neural network. So neural network is nothing but we are going to write coding with our neurons. Neurons, it is, the brain is full of neurons. Each and every every thought or word or action or anything, it is connected with the neuron. So we have to write coding according to our neuron, a new brain which is fixed in me, that is Maria. That is fuzzy algorithm I built, fuzzy neural network. That one is nothing but to find a new relationship with the data. Fuzzy is nothing but confused state. Confused state. Okay, so we have to play with the data. A set of data we can have, and we have to play with the data to say that yes, it is pen drive. It is not a pen drive. Maybe it is a pen drive. May or may not be. It is a pen drive. Like that. Then when we have 4 or 5 or 6 data, we can make relationship. So the fuzzy algorithm will help us to make relationship. And then SVM, support vector machines, neural network. That one solving classification and regression problem. So we are using classification algorithm, that is nothing but grouping, finding the color, finding the shape. We group them according to the network or size or color, we group them. So those kind of problem will be solved, support vector machines. And the next one is recurrent neural network. Recurrent neural network to get sequential data. So we need data one by one, one by one, one by one. So the data, we have to make magic with the data. So we use these kind of algorithm, neural network, fuzzy neural network, SVM, and recurrent network. So terminology and derivations for expanding data set. So how can we expand the data? So they are saying that we can say that positive, yes, it is true, this is a pen drive. And false negative, definitely it is not a pen drive. And then false positive, but it is not a pen drive, but the answer shows that it is a pen drive. And true negative means yes, it is completely not a pen drive. So like that situation we have to create condition positive, condition negative, true positive, true negative, false positive, false negative, like that. With this confused set, we can come up with a solution. And these are the logic I used here, that is Gray-Wolf optimization algorithm. Gray-Wolf optimization algorithm. What is that? The wolf, when the wolf is trying to get the food, it will be focusing on the cow which is there at the center, and it will go to the 8 sides, north, west, south. It will be focusing on. The wolf will be focusing on. It looks around. How can I get that cow to eat? So that is the way I have to find out. To find out my pen drive, I have to do the possible way of searching. That is Gray-Wolf optimization algorithm is used. Next one is FFA algorithm, Ford-Fulkerson algorithm. This is nothing but I have to find the best way, best path. So what are the path from, for example, 0 to 5? 0 to 5, I have to use different paths. Then what is the path? I have to block the paths one by one. I have to block by using mathematical calculation. I have to block the paths, and finally I have to reach the destination where my pen drive is there. So I'm using different way of algorithms to solve my problem, that is finding my pen drive. And then the next one is Jaya. Jaya is that one, it will help us to find best solution and worst solution. Best solution and worst solution. And what are the way possible? I can find my pen drive, the direction, the airflow, my voice airflow, the depth of the air, the sound. So everything I have to find, and then finally I will come up with a best or worst solution. The next one is Hawkes optimization algorithm. So this is an interesting algorithm that the Hawkes is a bird. It is an American bird. What it does, for example, if it wants to eat the rabbit, it has to confuse the rabbit first. It has to go around and disturb the rabbit and find out whether make sure that the Hawks, it will make sure that the rabbit should not be diverted, and it has to focus on the disturbance which comes from the Hawks. So that is why it go around and it disturbs, and finally it catches the rabbit and eats. So that is the way I'm going to search my pen drive. With 100 things, with 50 things, or with 10 things, my personal things, I'm going to find out my pen drive. So the year I improved HHO. So this is the proposal I made here. That is improved HHO. That is of what I'm going to find out. It comes from the Harris-Hawkes optimization algorithm. From that value, I'm going to take the ratio of best fit divided by worst fit. So from there, I get the new solution, the way of finding my pen drive. So finding a term, and then if there is a sound, and we have to find out the following values of the sound, accuracy of the sound. If it is Maria's sound, the voice of the Maria should be known, the airflow of the Maria voice should be known, and the distance between the air passing, that should be known. Everything we have to find out: accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, precision, FPR, FNR, NPV, and FDR. So F1. So these values we come across from the true positive, true negative, and false positive, false negative. From there, we try to find out accuracy, sensitivity of the voice, specificity of the voice, precision of the voice, like that. And this is the calculation I used to this confusion matrix. So from there, we come across the sensitivity. Recall, we are going to find out true positive rate is equal to true positive divided by P. So this kind of calculation, I'm going to true negative, false positive rate, false negative rate. So this one, we one by one step, I find my calculation, and finally I get the value. I used these kind of different types of algorithms. Now this is the result. So from my accuracy, I got this one using NNN, fuzzy, SVM, RNN proposed. Then I got my result. That is accuracy is 100% from pen drive. From my voice, when I pronounce that word pen drive, I got the accuracy. The same way, sensitivity also, I got the sensitivity by using different values. I got the sensitivity, and then specificity. Then NPV, all the outputs, it is narrated, and this is my coding. And for what I did, actually, this is my coding, it is running. So as a conclusion, I say that I took 10 voices. I took 10 voices here. For example, so these are the sounds I took. For example, this is my calculator. When I here, you can hear my voice. Calculator, it is recorded. Yeah, this here it's a pen drive, and everything is recorded. I took this one as a data, and I used PyCharm, TensorFlow. So when we run the program, so it will be when I run the program, you can see the coding, and we'll get the output. And still it is under process. So the program is running here. So this is a small research I'm making. Already I have done more than 15 projects, and every day, whenever, this is my hobby, and whenever I get time, I imagine and I do. So once we are through with the logics, and we can connect it through IoT, we connect the sensor and we detect the things, and then my phone will help me to find out all my 50 things. Thank you one and all for listening. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. That was indeed informative and imaginative. Now that we have reached the end of the session, in light of the rapid rate of technology change, educators need a framework to select and evaluate technologies, not just emerging technologies, but also existing ones. I hope this conference could be a great opportunity to share knowledge and experience about higher education and to establish friendship and cooperative relationship between educators for years to come. Thank you one and all. We, we will shortly we will join you shortly after tea break.
This is the opportunity that dreamers and achievers are waiting for. The direction you follow is the direction you make for yourself. We give out these experiences and possibilities. What you analyze right here will stay with you always. To find your opportunity, kickstart with Immaculate College for Women. The college serves as a springboard for students. Students from our college achieved university rankings including Lavanya R. first rank with a gold medal from the Department of Commerce, Keetna P. ranked 7th in the Department of Physics, Jennifer A. earned a 10th place from the Department of Commerce. The college offers courses in literally every discipline areas. UG courses with a wide range of subjects. Bachelor of Science BSc in Computer Science, Mathematics, Chemistry, Botany and Physics. Bachelor of Computer Applications BCA, Bachelor of Commerce BCom in General, Computer Application, Corporate Secretaryship, Bachelor of Arts BA in Tamil and English. Master degree programs with MSc Data Science, MSc Chemistry, MSc Mathematics, MA English and MCom. Numerous crash courses are designed to promote the talents and creativity of students like Artificial Intelligence, Internet of Things IoT, Multimedia, Web Designing, Tally with GST, robotics, choreography. The upcoming short courses: drone technology, aeronautical engineering, typewriting and shorthand, arts and crafts, tailoring, beautician, fashion designing, baking and confectionery, tourism and hospitality, jewelry making, and driving. Parchment courses are offered in collaboration with Longford International College, including aviation, leadership, and psychology to add extra credentials. Enroll in ICW to set yourself up for success. Applications are open for the year 2022 to 2023. Time is running out to apply for our college campus. Hurry up and get in. To know more about our college in detail, check out our college official website. Become an ICW student for a bright future. A new opportunity awaits. Let's get this started. Immaculate College for Women. Learn, light, and liberate. மாவட்டத்தில் பெண்களுக்காக உருவாக்கப்பட்ட சிறந்ததோர் கல்வி நிறுவனம் எமது இம்மாக்குலேட் மகளிர் கல்லூரி. எம் கல்லூரி தற்போது இடம் மாற்றப்பட்டு புதுப்பொலிவுடன் புத்துயிர் பெற்று விளங்குகிறது. காற்றோட்டமான வகுப்பறைகள், திறமை மிக்க பேராசிரியர்கள், மாணவிகளுக்கு பேருந்து வசதிகள், வேலை வாய்ப்பை உருவாக்க சான்றிதழ் படிப்புகள் என அனைத்து வசதிகளும் உள்ளன. எமது கல்லூரியில் பயின்ற மாணவிகள் பல்கலைக்கழக தரவரிசை பட்டியலிலும் இடம்பெற்றுள்ளனர். வணிகவியல் துறையை சார்ந்த ஆர் லாவண்யா முதல் இடத்தை பிடித்து தங்கப்பதக்கம் பெற்றுள்ளார். இயற்பியல் துறையை சார்ந்த பி கீர்த்தனா 7வது இடத்தையும், வணிகவியல் துறையை சார்ந்த ஏ ஜெனிஃபர் 10வது இடத்தையும் பிடித்து சாதனை புரிந்துள்ளனர். எம் கல்லூரியில் இளங்கலை மற்றும் முதுகலை பட்டப்படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றது. இளங்கலை பாடப்பிரிவினில் தமிழ், ஆங்கிலம், வர்த்தக கணினி அறிவியல், கணிதம், இயற்பியல், கணினி அறிவியல், வேதியியல், தாவரவியல், கணினி பயன்பாடு ஆகிய பாடப்பிரிவுகள் உள்ளன. முதுகலை பாடப்பிரிவில் தரவு அறிவியல், வேதியியல், கணிதம், ஆங்கிலம், வர்த்தகம் முதலிய பாடப்பிரிவுகள் உள்ளன. மேலும் மாணவிகளின் திறமையை ஊக்குவிக்கும் வகையில் அவர்களின் விருப்பத்திற்கேற்ப பல்வேறுபட்ட சான்றிதழ் படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றன. மல்டிமீடியா, இயக்கவியல் வடிவமைப்பு, கைபேசி செயலி உருவாக்கம், விமானம் பற்றிய அறிவு, உளவியல், தலைமைத்துவம், ஓவியம், சமையற்கலை, செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு திறன், வலைத்தளம் வடிவமைப்பு, அழகுக்கலை பயிற்சி, அணிகலன்கள் வடிவமைத்தல், நடன அமைப்பு, தையற்கலை, தட்டச்சு மற்றும் சுருக்கெழுத்து போன்ற பல்வேறு படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றன. உங்கள் பெண் பிள்ளைகளுக்கு ஒளிமயமான எதிர்காலத்தை அமைத்து தர இம்மாக்குலேட் மகளிர் கல்லூரியில் சேர்ப்பீர். 2022ஆம் கல்வி ஆண்டிற்கான சேர்க்கை நடைபெறுகிறது. சேர்க்கைக்கு முந்துங்கள். மேலும் தகவல்களை தெரிந்து கொள்ள கல்லூரியின் அதிகாரப்பூர்வ இணையதளத்தை அணுகவும். கடலூர் மாவட்டத்தில் பெண்களுக்காக உருவாக்கப்பட்ட சிறந்ததோர் கல்வி நிறுவனம் எமது இம்மாக்குலேட் மகளிர் கல்லூரி. எம் கல்லூரி தற்போது இடம் மாற்றப்பட்டு புதுப்பொலிவுடன் புத்துயிர் பெற்று விளங்குகிறது. காற்றோட்டமான வகுப்பறைகள், திறமை மிக்க பேராசிரியர்கள், மாணவிகளுக்கு பேருந்து வசதிகள், வேலை வாய்ப்பை உருவாக்க சான்றிதழ் படிப்புகள் என அனைத்து வசதிகளும் உள்ளன. எமது கல்லூரியில் பயின்ற மாணவிகள் பல்கலைக்கழக தரவரிசை பட்டியலிலும் இடம்பெற்றுள்ளனர். வணிகவியல் துறையை சார்ந்த ஆர் லாவண்யா முதல் இடத்தை பிடித்து தங்கப்பதக்கம் பெற்றுள்ளார். இயற்பியல் துறையை சார்ந்த பி. கீர்த்தனா 7வது இடத்தையும், வணிகவியல் துறையை சார்ந்த ஏ. ஜெனிஃபர் 10வது இடத்தையும் பிடித்து சாதனை புரிந்துள்ளனர். எம் கல்லூரியில் இளங்கலை மற்றும் முதுகலை பட்டப்படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றது. இளங்கலை பாடப்பிரிவினில் தமிழ், ஆங்கிலம், வர்த்தக கணினி அறிவியல், கணிதம், இயற்பியல், கணினி அறிவியல், வேதியியல், தாவரவியல், கணினி பயன்பாடு ஆகிய பாடப்பிரிவுகள் உள்ளன. முதுகலை பாடப்பிரிவில் தரவு அறிவியல், வேதியியல், கணிதம், ஆங்கிலம், வர்த்தகம் முதலிய பாடப்பிரிவுகள் உள்ளன. மேலும் மாணவிகளின் திறமையை ஊக்குவிக்கும் வகையில் அவர்களின் விருப்பத்திற்கேற்ப பல்வேறுபட்ட சான்றிதழ் படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றன. மல்டிமீடியா, இயக்கவியல் வடிவமைப்பு, கைபேசி செயலி உருவாக்கம், விமானம் பற்றிய அறிவு, உளவியல், தலைமைத்துவம், ஓவியம், சமையற்கலை, செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு திறன், வலைத்தளம் வடிவமைப்பு, அழகுக்கலை பயிற்சி, அணிகலன்கள் வடிவமைத்தல், நடன அமைப்பு, தையற்கலை, தட்டச்சு மற்றும் சுருக்கெழுத்து போன்ற பல்வேறு படிப்புகள் வழங்கப்படுகின்றன. உங்கள் பெண் பிள்ளைகளுக்கு ஒளிமயமான எதிர்காலத்தை அமைத்து தர இம்மாக்குலேட் மகளிர் கல்லூரியில் சேர்ப்பீர். 2022ஆம் கல்வி ஆண்டிற்கான சேர்க்கை நடைபெறுகிறது. சேர்க்கைக்கு முந்துங்கள். மேலும் தகவல்களை தெரிந்து கொள்ள கல்லூரியின் அதிகாரப்பூர்வ இணையதளத்தை அணுகவும்.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon. Physics teaches people to accept reality with awe and admiration, not to mention the amazement and joy that come with it. I heartily invite you all for our physics conference to bring together researchers, UG and PG students who are responsible for delivering sustainable and eco-friendly solutions through leveraging advanced information science for competitive advantage and cost saving in modern industrial sector as well as public and business sector. Now I'm going to invite our presenters to present their presentation. We begin to learn the beauty of nanomaterial. I invite Mrs. F. Prisla Priya to initiate the presentation. We welcome you, ma'am.
Good evening to all. I am very glad to present my research article as Synthesis and Characterization of Cadmium Oxide Nanopowder by Priscilla Priya. Here we are going to see about the introduction to nanotechnology. In nanotechnology, a particle is defined as a small object that behaves as a whole unit in terms of its transparent and properties. Nanoparticles may not exhibit size-related properties that differ significantly from those observed in fine particles and bulk materials. Although the size of most molecules should fit into the above outline, individual molecules are usually not referred to as nanoparticles. Size of the nanoparticles. In terms of diameter, fine particles cover a range between 100 to 2500 nanometers, while ultrafine particles are sized between 1 to 100 nanometers. Nanoparticle research and uses. Nanoparticle research is currently the most studied branch of science with the number of use of nanoparticles in various fields. The particle have wide variety of potential application in biomedical, optical and electronic fields. Methods of nano powder preparation. There are four methods. First one is attrition, second one is pyrolysis, a third one is salvothermal process, and the fourth one is Sol-Gel process. First, we are going to see about attrition. Attrition methods include method by which macro or micro scale particles are ground in ball mill, planted ball mill, or other size reducing mechanism. Second one is a pyrolysis. In pyrolysis, a vaporous precursor is forced through a hole or opening at high pressure and burn. Third one is salvothermal process. In salvothermal process, precursors are dissolved in hot solvents and a solvent other than water can provide milder and friendlier reaction condition. Fourth one is a Sol-Gel process. The Sol-Gel process is a wet chemical techniques widely used recently in the field of material science and ceramic engineering. Properties of nanopowder. Nanoparticles are important scientific tools in various biotechnological, pharmacological, and pure technological uses. They link between bulk materials and atomic or molecular structure. It also has physical, optical, magnetization, and diffusion properties. Dimensionality. Dimensionality, according to the dimensionality of nanoparticles, it has three dimensions. First one is one-dimensional nanomaterials, second one is two-dimensional nanomaterials, and the third one is three-dimensional nanomaterials. Nanoparticles are generally classified based on the dimensionality, morphology, composition, uniformity, and agglomeration. The application and advantages of nanoparticles: creating fluorescent biological labels for important biological markers, drug delivery system, gene delivery systems in gene therapy, for biological detection of disease causing organism and diagnosis, detection of proteins, isolation and purification of biological molecules and cells, probing of DNA structure, genetic and tissue engineering, destruction of tumors with a drug or heat, in MRI studies, in pharmacokinetic studies. These are all the application and advantages of nanoparticles. Cadmium oxide nanopowder, the production and structure. Cadmium compounds are often found in association with zinc ores. Cadmium oxide is a common byproduct of zinc refining. It is produced by burning elemental cadmium in air. Pyrolysis of other cadmium compounds such as the nitrate or the carbonate also offered this oxide. When pure, it is a red, but cadmium oxide is unusual in being available in many different colors due to its tendency to form defect structures resulting from various vacancies. Cadmium oxide is prepared by oxidizing cadmium vapor in air. Cadmium oxide is used in cadmium plating baths, electrodes for storage batteries, cadmium salts, catalyzed ceramic glasses, phosphorus, and nematicides. And major uses of cadmium oxides are as an ingredient for electroplating baths, and mainly it is used in solar cells and solar panels. Methods of preparation. There are four methods: co-precipitation, microemulsion, thermal decomposition, flame spray synthesis. And then these are all the instruments which used for preparation of nanopowder. First one is muffle furnace, second one is centrifuging machine, and then the third one is magnetic stirrer. X-ray powder diffraction. X-ray diffraction is a rapidly analytical technique primarily used for phase identification of a crystalline material and can provide information on unit cell dimensions. The analyzed material is finely ground, homogenized, and average bulk composition is determined. X-ray diffraction analysis investigates crystalline material structure, including atomic arrangement, crystalline size, and imperfections. This is an XRD analysis of, in order to investigate the structural properties of cadmium oxide nanopowder. X-ray diffraction measurement were performed here. The X-ray diffraction spectrum of cadmium oxide for 0.3 molarity nanopowder annealed at 300 degrees Celsius in air. The X-ray result indicate that the cadmium oxide for 0.3 molarity nanopowder have a polycrystalline structure for all the four temperature of 20, 40, 60, 80 respectively. A preferred orientation in 111 plane is observed for cadmium oxide for 0.3 molarity. This is the X-ray diffraction spectrum of cadmium oxide 0.4. The nanopowders annealed at 300 degrees Celsius again. The X-ray results indicate that the cadmium oxide nanopowder have polycrystalline structure for all the four temperature of 20, 40, 60, 80 respectively. And then ultraviolet spectroscopy analysis. Ultraviolet spectroscopy refers to absorption spectroscopy or a reflection spectroscopy in the ultraviolet visible spectral region. This means it uses light in the visible and adjacent ranges. The absorption or reflection in the visible range directly affects the preserved color of the chemical involved. In the region of the electromagnetic spectrum, the molecules undergo electronic transitions. This diagram referred as a UV analysis for cadmium oxide 0.3 mole and 0.4 mole. Here the band gap energy value for a transmitted spectrum of cadmium oxide 0.3 and 0.4 is 2.21 electron volt. The energy values of absorption spectrum of cadmium oxide 0.3 and 0.4 are slightly higher the reported values for the direct band gap of bulk cadmium oxide 0.3 and 0.4 are closer to that of reported values of the direct band gap of bulk cadmium oxide. Conclusion. Preparation of cadmium oxide nanopowder by co-precipitation method were studied by electrical and optical properties. The XRD pattern showed that cadmium peaks and variation in the lattice parameters could be seen. Absorbance and transmittance study of the nanopowder shows that transmittance decreased with increase in wavelength. From the optical studies, the calculated band gap was in close to the agreement with fixed values. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful performance. We are grateful for the time you spent in marvelous preparation. Thank you, ma'am. Now we are going to see about nanomaterial. I warmly welcome Mrs. S. Durga to begin the presentation. We welcome you, ma'am.
Good evening to all. Nanomaterial by Solgel method, synthesis and application presented by S. Dukka. Introduction. Nanotechnology Nanotechnology is the science and engineering involved in the design, synthesis, and characterization materials. Size is an TNPL, a whose particle nanometer scale, and whose particle size in nanometer scale. Nanomaterial have a different chemical properties compared to material. In fact, they were studied since the specific function, depend on the shape and size. In a last decode, different nanostructure oxide materials such as zinc, titanium, have been developed in a many fields. In particular, nitrate is frequently used in industrial and environmental application for a photocatalytic activity, chemical stabilities, and anti-corrosive properties. The good biocompatibility for these nanomaterials make them excellent candidate for the biomedical application. The figure 1 represents the Solgel process. Advantages of the Solgel's method. The simplicity of the process. Preparation is a very high purity product, very high production efficiency. The production of the optical compound with the complex shape. Synthesis of uniform compound in the form of composite oxide. Ability of designing and controlling the chemical composition, obtaining homogeneous composition. Surface coverage, ability using process synthesis amorphous material in thin layers, the production of the material with the modified physical properties such as a low thermal expansion coefficient, low UV absorption, and high optical transparency. The production of the porous and rich materials of porous and rich organic and polymeric compound. High chemical reactivity, Precursor due to the process in solution phase, precise control of material structure with the possibility of adjusting variables in the early stage of tuberculosis and network formation. The low initial having investment while quality factors. The Soldier process is a common, almost old method. In the mid-9th century of tendency used the Soldier process to synthesis mineral ceramic and glass glamour and study in silica gels. In 1950, extensive studies began the synthesis and ceramic and glass material used the Soldiers method. This method was able to synthesizing many mineral oxides such as titanium, silicon, and zinc. Application of nanomaterials by Soldiers method. First one, the synthesis at a low temperature, preparation of high purity product, very high production efficiency, the production of optical compound with the complex shape, synthesis of uniform compound in the form of composite oxide, possibility of designing chemical composition and obtaining homogeneous composition, ability of using the product in the special forms such as a fiber aerogels and surface coating, ability of using in this process synthesis material and amorphous state, applying them in thin layers. So common precursors of synthesis metal oxide. Section Snappets. Materials. Iron nitrate and citric acid oxide were used to prepare the paramagnetic nanomaterial that they were obtained from chemical cooperations. The reagent were used without further purification. So Soldier process. Bottom of approaches, chemical process. A soldier is a colloid. Say a gel is a semi-rigid mass and then the form when solvent from the sol begins to evaporate and the particles of ions left begin to join together in a continuous network. Salt, gel, dried gel, grinding, shifting and the final product. This is a form of Soldiers method. Synthesis of paramagnetic nanomaterials through the Soldiers method. 200 ml iron nitrate were used to the precursor solution was generated using 800 ml nanohydrate citric acid solution was reagent molecules. The cyanide distilled water as the solvent. The iron solution was added to the citric solution dropwise vigorous stirring. The solution was the heated temperature 700 degrees Celsius while maintaining the vigorous stirring until the gel was formed and contained the water was evaporated. The dried cell was under temperature ranging from 180 to 4000 degrees Celsius, typically yielding 1.6 gram of Fe2O3, the ranging in the size in 25 to 56 nanometers. This is a flowchart method of Soldiers method. Conclusion. In this summary F2O3, so nanoparticles have been prepared by Soldiers method, combined in annealing under the 180 to 400 degrees Celsius. In the process, the final product and formed by performing number of irreversible chemical reaction. Thank you.
Fantabulous performance. From your presentation, we learned more information about nanomaterial. This topic has given us lot of useful information. We are initial to learn the knowledge of spectroscopic study on ternary blended cement concrete. I gladly invite Dr. R. Nitya to launch the presentation. We welcome you, ma'am.
Good evening to all. I am Nitya from Department of Physics. My research topic is a spectroscopic study on ternary blended cement concrete. Nowadays, a wide range of products are available or based on ordinary Portland cement, high alumina cement, and silica fume. Their application are usually limited to indoor uses in the field of building chemistry. So it is important to study the durability of these ternary binders with parameters or studied and kinematics using sophisticated instrument. Now move on, introduction. We are all familiar with cement. Cement or concrete is one of the most used construction materials in the world. With a production of 2 billion tons per year throughout the world, it has attractive application due to its strength. But environmental concern, the high energy expense and carbon dioxide emission associated with cement manufacturing to reduce the cement consumption through the use of supplementary materials. Vast quantity of industrial waste byproduct can be used as a mineral admixture in cement and concrete. These waste byproduct must be effectively disposed to eliminate air, soil, and surface as well as the groundwater. The usage of mineral admixture in this area of research to aim to reduce the cost of the cement and the environmental problems associated with these disposable or minimized or eliminated. The mineral admixture, the various type of mineral admixture are available in the market, such as fly ash, silica fume, and slag. These are used as partial replacement of cement, an expensive and energy intensive material. The utilization of mineral admixture leads to a considerable saving in cost, energy consumption, and natural resources. These admixture have no formulated chemical composition, but they have special action from pozzolana character. These materials do not have any binding property, but it can react with calcium hydroxide liberated on hydration of cement to produce cementitious compound with good binding properties. Why I am chosen silica fume compared to other admixtures? Why I am chosen silica fume? It is a byproduct of the smelting process during the production of silicon metal and ferrosilicon alloys. The main feature of microsilica are high silica content. It specifies the larger specific area and amorphous structure, and it is also called silica fume, microsilica, and amorphous silica. Some of the benefits and application of silica fume: it provides greater resistance to corrosion, abrasion, and erosion. It is important to reduce the porosity of the cement hydration product and also increase the strength, fineness, amorphous structure, and higher silica content make silica fume a high reactive material and to increase the resistance to sulfate attack. Nowadays, in today's world, they construct the building using this mineral admixture. High alumina cement. HAC means high alumina cement. It is the most important type of non-Portland or special cement. Even the volume of used each year is only about 1,000th of the Portland cement, as they are considerably more expensive and compared to the ordinary Portland cement, but it is not economic to use to simply substitute for Portland cement. So my aim is to reduce the cost of the cement through the addition of ordinary Portland cement. Now it is used for construction purpose. Then how to react to the hydration of cement. Suppose when high alumina cement is placed in water calcium ions and aluminate ions, it can be dissolved in the water to give a solution. These solution can combine in different type of aluminate product, such as CaH10, C2AH8, C3AH6. When ordinary Portland cement, calcium content is high. When we use high alumina cement, aluminum content is more. Then mineral admixture, silica fume. Silica fume, in the silica fume, silicon content is more. So these calcium, alumina, silicate gives very good product and very good strength. So when different phases are mixed together, it tend to react and recombine to give a new mixture of phases. It has the lowest energy called stable phase assembly, clearly shown in the diagram. However, it is quite difficult for the stable phase to form immediately due to the rearrangement of ion that needs to occur. In certain case, it happens that different phase form temporarily, but which is metastable. They have a lower energy than the starting phase assemblage, which provide a driving force for the formation. But they have a higher energy than the stable phase assembly. All this reaction take place through the solution. The reacting phase dissolve and the product phases are precipitated from the solution. From the practical point of view, the formation of this different hydrates is very important. That is CaH10, C2AH8, C3AH6. These elements are give a high yield strength and compared to the ordinary Portland cement. Next, physical properties of the cement, finance, setting time. There are two setting time. One is initial setting time and final setting time. Soundness and loss on ignitions and water to cement ratio. Water to cement ratio is an important factor to determine the cement properties. Fineness, the quality of a cement depends to a greater extent on the fineness of grinding. Setting time refers to a fluid to a rigid state. Already we are told initial setting time and final setting time. Soundness, to measure the volume of the material and stability of the hardened cement. Loss on ignition, the weight loss of the sample due to heating is determined. A high loss on ignition can indicate prehydration and carbonization, which may be caused by improper and prolonged storage or adulteration during transport or transfer. Very important factor, the signification of water. Water is an important ingredient of cement paste. It is contribute for the chemical reaction with the cement. The quality of water is important because impurity may interfere with the setting of the cement, may affect the strength of the cement. Suppose when water to cement ratio increases, the capillary cavity becomes larger. Suppose when the water to cement ratio is lower, the anhydrous cement will be increases, the product of hydration is also increases. From the experimental details, it is observed that water by cement ratio 0.4 is more suitable for, and hence it is also preferred throughout the studies. Then, move on, setting times of high alumina cement, ordinary Portland cement admixtured with various percentage of silica fume and treated with groundwater in a water by cement ratio 0.4. So above procedure, to determine there are some procedures involved. To determine the setting time of cement, the 400 grams of cement was wired and placed in non-porous plate. All this initial arrangement are made throughout the water by cement ratio 0.4. The experiment is repeated for the various percentage by the addition of 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20% of silica fume. Next one, compressive strength of high alumina cement, ordinary Portland cement, admixtured with various percentage of silica fume and treated with groundwater in a W/C ratio 0.4. The compressive strength is a very important property to determine the concrete, strength of the concrete. The compressive strength is the maximum stress that a specified volume can withstand by the sample. This mainly fulfills the two functions. First one, to check the quality of the cement. Secondly, it helps to identify the type of cement. That means it may be a ordinary cement or rapid hardening cement or low heat Portland cement or high alumina cement. It may depends upon the strength. The figure shows the different various percentage of the silica fume added in this ternary binder system. Now, mass bias spectroscopy. We are all familiar with mini spectroscopy study, FTR, XRD. Now I am chosen mass bias spectroscopy for my sample. The reliability of mass bias spectroscopic studies act in supplying information about the nature of bonding, site symmetry, and oxidation state of ion atom. When compared to other spectroscopic studies, mass bias spectroscopy to determine the ion content in the sample. The exact position of the ion can be easily determined in the two-sheet pyrosilicate, which have limited cation site available. The structural position of ion in the more complex layer silicate material can be ascertained by the comparison of isomer shift and quadrupole splitting values to those ion, and it is called a octahedral and tetrahedral coordination. Any cement matrix containing aluminum and ion, during hydration, these metal ions undergoes a variation. These variation can be well studied with the mass bias studies. However, the reaction and the position of the ion cannot be estimated clearly with other method except mass bias. The beauty of the mass bias is when compared to the other experiment, compared to the other spectroscopy study, to give the perfect value of the ion content present in the sample. This mass spectra can be recorded at UGC Conservatorium, Calcutta. Now it is available in IIT Madras and Madras University. So the picture predicts the mass spectra of high alumina cement, ordinary Portland cement, silica fume, and admixture cement sample are displayed in figure. The recorded mass spectra of anhydrous high alumina cement contain two humps. There are two humps in the figure with the quadrupole splitting of 2.43 and isomer shifting of 0.22. These isomer shift and quadrupole shift are calculated by using the MOSBIOS software. It is attached with the instrument. Next one, at first week of, you have seen the different weeks. First week, 1W means first week, and 4 week and 12 week. At first week of hydration, the ion state disappears due to the Fe3 plus ion to maintaining the percentage of ion to be a constant. When the time of hydration increases, Fe3 plus intensity increases, it's suggesting the higher strength. Suppose in this figure, the Fe3 plus ion increases, the intensity of the Fe3 plus ion increases, it suggests the strength will be higher. Suppose when we add the addition of, when we increase the percentage of silica fume, the concentration of the Si2 plus increases. At the same time, the amount of high alumina cement decreases, it reducing the amount of aluminate. When percentage of silica fume increases, the processing is take place in the delayed time, probably due to the Pozzolanic reaction. It is evidence through the ion side. It is beautifully calculated from the isomer shift and quadrupole shift. Also, the addition of silica fume to decrease the relative intensity of the inner doublet of the spectrum and turn and increases silica fume content increases. So from throughout the study, it holds good for 10% silica fume is optimum for throughout the study. So next one. So we compute the ratio of Fe3 plus and curing days. It observed that the value will be increases. The volume of ion will be increases. It shows a higher strength. So this is a plot between the Fe3 plus and compressing strength of hydrated OPC, HAC. Then conclusion. As the percentage of silica film increases, the Starling-lit amount decreases. Starling means C2AsH8. This is true for groundwater paste only. This Starling-lit is responsible for strength. At fourth week, the carbonate polymers will be in the order of groundwater paste, organic calcite and vatrite, and it is used for ternary water. Vatrite is greater than calcite, greater than organite. In the initial period of hydration, the amount of biorite is higher and gibbsite is higher at the later period of hydration. This is true for the paste in a 5% and 10% silica fume addition. When the silica fume percentage is 15 and 20%, the reverse is true. The conversion of Fe3 plus and Fe2 plus and the replacement of Fe3 plus by Al3 plus, making the combination is more compact and increasing the strength. So the combined blend of these mixture, particularly 80% of HAC plus 10% of OPC plus 10% of silica fume character is equivalent to pure high alumina cement in all except. So the dielectric, the magnetic conductivity and ultrasonic investigation may pay more light on this blend. Hence, this forms the plan for the future studies. Thank you.
Wonderful performance. Your presentation gives the creativity and improve the knowledge. Your creativity was amazing. Thank you, ma'am. We had suffered lot in pandemic situation due to COVID-19. Here, our presenter are going to present what are the methods to fight for COVID-19. I invite Ms. B. Aarti to start the presentation.
A very warm welcome to one and all present here. Today, I am going to start my presentation about physics tools and methods help fight COVID-19. Myself, BRT, and my teammates are A. Sudha, T. Soumya, and A. Suganti. Let us start with the introduction of COVID-19. A novel coronavirus or COVID-19 by the World Health Organization is in charge of the current outbreak of pneumonia that began at the beginning of December 2019 in Wuhan, China. COVID-19 is a pathogenic virus. The virus has since spread to all continents. Video.
இது பழைய வருஷன் வீடியோ வர ரன் ஆகும். அப்படியே பேசுவோம்.
Coronaviruses are a family of viruses that can cause a respiratory illness in humans. They are called corona because of crown-like spikes on the surface of the virus. Severe acute respiratory syndrome and Middle East respiratory syndrome and the common cold are examples of coronavirus that cause illness in humans. That is how physics tools and methods help fight COVID-19. There is a lot. We do know about the novel coronavirus, SARS coronavirus 2, and the resultant disease COVID-19. What we do know is that we are pulling our resources together to understand, fight, and ultimately defeat it. Physics is at the forefront of this fight. Physics-based techniques play a huge role in the field of structural biology. Let us see what are the tools and methods can help to fight coronavirus and ultimately defeat it. X-ray crystallography, which utilizes electromagnetic radiation to produce wavelength that can help to generate 3D detailed structure of the virus. To help during a pandemic, these techniques have to provide results very quickly. An example of such fast analysis is the study of SARS coronavirus 2. The structure is helping researchers to identify antiviral drugs that could block and preventing viruses from replicating. Cryo-electron microscopy. Another technique used for obtaining structural information is the cryo-electron microscopy. Cryo-EM is the electron microscopy method applied to samples to very low temperatures. A team of researchers used this method to resolve the structure of an outer spike protein of SARS coronavirus 2. The detailed structure of the spike protein is very useful for creating coronavirus vaccines. CT scan, computer tomography imaging technology known as CT scan. It shows the extent of damage to the lungs caused by coronavirus. Healthcare providers use CT scan to search spots within the lungs. Coronavirus attacks the lungs which fail to function properly due to extent of inflammation. CT imaging shows the effect of COVID-19 on the lungs of a patient. Diamond light source method. Scientists across the world are using the diamond light source to understand the structure of the COVID-19 virus. Diamond is supporting global efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic by providing international and UK-based scientists with access to high-resolution synchrotron and electron-based imaging techniques used to study the virus. Ventilator. The virus gets into your airways and can make it hard for you to breathe. estimates so far about 6% of people who have COVID-19 get critically sick, and about 1 in 4 of them may need a ventilator to help them breathe. COVID-19 can inflame your airways and essentially drown your lungs in fluids. A ventilator mechanically helps pump oxygen and survive until you get better and your lungs can work. Flow physics. It plays a key role in nearly every feature of the COVID-19 global pandemic. This includes the generation and respiratory droplet from your host, its airborne dispersion and deposition on surfaces, as well as the subsequent inhalation of these bioaerosols by unsuspecting recipients. A fluid dynamic analysis helps to understand the mechanism, how the droplets are generated in the respiratory tract, and also characterize the density, size, and velocity. The Department of Physics at UNO is informed the current news and update in physics, particularly as they relate to COVID-19. Students learn about all of these physics-related methods and tools to fight COVID-19 through UNO's biomedical physics concentration. Scientists with wide-ranging expertise collaborate to structural biology, fluid dynamics, big data, or mathematical model. Physics are active in the COVID-19 fight in numerous impactful ways. COVID-19 virus causes mild to severe respiratory illness, including death. The preventive measures include getting vaccinated, wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart, washing hands often, and avoiding sick people. I'm a physicist proud of myself to travel with this pandemic for the past 2 years. I know it's a very challenging and uncertain time due to coronavirus. Thanks a lot for everything. Despite the COVID-19 situation, as a physicist, being a part was still a great success. Unite Against COVID-19. Thank you very much for organizing the interesting and useful conference. It was a very good and interesting conference meeting.
Excellent performance. Our heartfelt thanks for revealing so much unknown information. Thanks for giving the strength and knowledge to face the COVID-19. Thank you, Aarti. We are going to see how universe expand after Big Bang Theory. I invite Ms. B. Sangeeta to originate the presentation.
Hello everyone, welcome you all to this wonderful session. Hope you are all doing too good. Myself Sangeeta, I am going to explain about the topic Big Bang Theory. And this work was done by B. Sangeeta, P. Priya, V. Anushya and P. Subhashini. Before going to the topic, I need to explain about astrophysics, the scientific study of the physical and chemical structures of the stars and planets. It seeks the nature of heavenly bodies rather than their positions or motions in space. Experiment of Big Bang Theory. For this experiment, we will need a tape, paper pieces, balloon, a scale, a needle, a sketch or a marker, and a worksheet to work out this experiment. First, I will take a balloon and put these paper pieces onto it. And then I will blow some air onto it. I will blow a small amount of air onto it. Then I will take a sketch. First, I will mark the letter H. Consider it as the Milky Way galaxy. Around in it, I will mark the letters A, B, C, D and E. Consider it as the stars and planets around our universe. Next, I will take the ruler to measure the distance between H and A. The distance between H and A is 4.5 cm. Then I will take a sketch and note this measurement in this worksheet. Similarly, we can measure the distance between H and B. The distance between H and B is 4 cm. Again, I will mark this measurement in this worksheet. Similarly, we will note down the distance between H and C, H and D, and H and E also. And then to measure the distance after second blow, I will blow more air onto it. Then I will take a ruler to measure the distance between H and A and note it down on this paper. Then repeat the same process we did for first and second blow. And then for distance after third blow, I will blow more air onto it and note it down for the first and second blow. And then I will mark all these measurements are increasing one by one. Similarly, all the measurements are increasing. From this experiment, we can conclude that when I blow air into the balloon was expanding, reading will be increasing. Likewise, when dark matter enter into our universe also expanding, stars and planets are going at farther distance. Continuation of the experiment. I will take the same balloon and a needle. I will burst the balloon with the help of this needle. After bursting, all the particles are scattered here and there in an uneven manner. The particles scattered outside the marking are considered to be as unknown matter, and the particles scattered inside the markings are the stars and planets around our universe. Comparison of experiment with Big Bang. When I blow air into the balloon was expanding. Likewise, when dark matter enter into our universe also expanding. When I burst the balloon with the help of this needle, all the particles are scattered. Likewise, when Big Bang model enters, all the particles are scattered here and there in an uneven manner. Finally, the universe was like this formation. Center is the Milky Way galaxy. Around in it, Center in it, Milky Way galaxy. Around in it, the stars and planets are there. For this experiment, we will need a tape, paper pieces, balloon, a scale, a needle, a sketch or a marker, and a worksheet to work out this experiment. First, I will take a balloon and put these paper pieces onto it. And then I will blow more air onto it. And then I will mark the letters A, B, and then C, D, and then E also. Consider it as a stars and planets around our universe. Next, I will take the ruler to measure the distance between H and A. The distance between H and A is approximately 4.5 centimeter. And then I will take a sketch and note this measurement in this worksheet. Similarly, we can measure the distance between H and B using the same ruler. The distance between H and B is 4 centimeter. Again, I will mark these measurements in this worksheet. Similarly, we will note down the distance between H and C, H and D, and H and E also. And then to measure the distance after second blow, I will blow more air onto the balloon. It will take a time to blow the air. And then I will take a ruler and measure the distance between H and A. And then note it down on this paper. Then repeat the same process we did for distance after first blow. And then for distance after third blow, we'll blow more air onto the balloon, and then I will repeat the same process we did for first and second blow. And then I will mark all these measurements in this worksheet. Now we will observe that these measurements are increasing one by one. We will observe that distance after first blow is 4.5 centimeter and it will be increased in second and third blow. Similarly, all the measurements are increasing one by one. From this experiment, we can conclude that when I blow air into the balloon was expanding and the reading will be increasing. Likewise, when dark matter enter into our universe also expanding, stars and planets are going at farther distance. Continuation of the experiment. I will take the same balloon and a needle. I will burst the balloon with the help of this needle. After bursting, all the particles are scattered here and there in an uneven manner. The particles scattered both inside and outside. The particles scattered outside the X marking are considered to be as an unknown matter, that is dark matter. And the particles scattered inside the X marking are the known matter, which is stars and planets around our universe. From this experiment, we can conclude that the X marking is the structure of our universe and the paper pieces inside the X marking are the stars and planets. When I blow air into the balloon was expanding. Likewise, when dark matter enter into our universe also expanding. When I burst the balloon with the help of this needle, all the particles are scattered. Likewise, when Big Bang model enters, all the particles are scattered here and there in an uneven manner. These were the comparison of Big Bang with the experiment. This is the formation of our galaxies. Center is the Milky Way galaxy. Around the small particles are the stars and planets around our universe. Definition of Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory is the prevailing cosmological model explaining the existence of observable universe from the earliest known periods through its large-scale evolution. Big Bang theory that occurred 13.8 billion years ago. It began to expand rapidly and this expansion is known as Big Bang. After the Big Bang, the universe was extremely hot and dense. All of the current and past matter in the universe came into existence at the same time. In 1927, a Belgian cosmologist and a Catholic priest named George Lemaitre proposed the Big Bang theory. He is known as the father of Big Bang theory. Another scientist named Fred Hoyle is the one who coined the term Big Bang and later it is called as a Big Bang idea. Evidence of Big Bang theory. The first evidence is the Hubble's discovery in 1920. Second one is the cosmic microwave background. Third one is the relative abundance of hydrogen and helium. Process of Big Bang. When dark matter enters into our universe was expanding. When hot Big Bang model occurs, all the particles are scattered here and there in an uneven manner. Finally, the universe was like this formation. This is the process of Big Bang. I hope you are able to understand the process of Big Bang in this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for taking your time to prepare for us such an extraordinary, wonderful presentation. Thank you. I welcome Ms. R. Keetana to present the topic of quantum computational method. We welcome you to start the presentation.
Kanjima Munivar Government Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research. I am research scholar. Today I am going to present the topic about the spectroscopic characterization and DFT computational study for the molecule 4-chloromethylpyridine hydrochloride. Next, outline of my presentation are displayed here. Next, computational methods. The molecular properties are also analyzed using theoretical quantum computation. The method used in my study is DFT method, where B3LYP function and 6311+G D, P basic sets are used. Next, characterization techniques. These 4 experimental spectroscopic techniques are used to characterize the molecules. UV visible analysis is used to study the prominent electronic transition in this molecule. FTIR and FT-Raman are used to study the vibration modes. NMR is used to measure the chemical shift of carbon and hydrogen atom in the molecule. Next, the optimized molecular structure, molecular formula, and IUPAC name of 4-chloromethylpyridine hydrochloride are shown here. Next, structural analysis. The difference in bond length value inside the pyridine ring, also with the benzene ring value 1.38 angstrom, shows that the conjugation inside the pyridine ring is not the same as that of benzene ring, and the bond on the ring is neither double bonded or single bonded, which is naturally on account of the presence of nitrogen in the ring structure. But in the methyl group, the value are higher than the expected range due to the presence of chlorine atom in the title molecule. All the CH values are in the expected range. Next, bond angle. Similarly, the bond angle shows the variation in the same place where the bond length takes place due to the presence of chlorine and nitrogen atom in the title molecule. Next, NMR. Experimental and theoretical NMR spectrum are shown here. Next, the expected chemical shift value for NMR is 127 to 129 ppm. Here, 1C, 3C, 5C, and 11C are highly de-shielded due to the presence of nitrogen atom and chlorine atom. In the chloromethyl group, 13H and 14H shows shielded values to the nature of chlorine atom. Next, charge analysis. Charge analysis also shows the variation in 1C, 3C, 5C, and 11C. It also implies that the conjugation inside the pyridine ring is distinguishably different from benzene ring. Next, vibration analysis. Experimental and theoretical spectrum are shown here. Next, the CH vibration are usually occur in the region 3100 to 3000 centimeter inverse for aromatic rings. The values are higher due to the electronegativity nature of nitrogen atom in the ring. Similarly, CN and CC values are also shows drastically increased and decreased value because the presence of chlorine and nitrogen atom in the title molecule. Next, NBO analysis. The most 10 probable transition are shown in this table. The first and seventh transition or the probable transition occur in the pyridine ring to pi to pi star and n to pi star transition. This is confirmed in the UV analysis. Next, UV analysis. The experimental and theoretical peaks are shown here. In solvent phase, first and seventh transition or pi to pi star transition and n to sigma star transition in the pyridine ring with the contribution of HOMO-LUMO, which is having the 88%. Next, HOMO-LUMO. HOMO occurs in the pyridine ring near to the chlorine atom, and LUMO occurs in the pyridine ring with energy gap minus 0.27. This molecule is highly reactive because it has high global softness. Next, molecular electrostatic potential. Here, this molecule shows the negative region occur in the nitrogen atom in the pyridine ring. Positive region occur above in hydrogen atom in the molecule. Next, molecular docking. The ligand for chloromethylpyridine hydrochloride is docked with the protein 1HD2 in the pyridine with the distance 2.2 angstrom through hydrogen bond, and the other parameters are also shown in this table. Conclusion. In my work, the FTIR, FT-Raman, FT-NMR and UV visible spectra analysis of the compounds are recorded in their prescribed range and the values are compared with their theoretical values. The structural analysis based on bond length and bond angles indicate that the changes in these structural parameters. The charge prediction for the carbon atom C3 in the pyridine ring shows positive NAC value and negative or almost neutral value in Mulliken population analysis value due to the presence of methyl group. The chemical shift of aliphatic chain 11C is shielded due to the presence of fluorine atom and pyridine ring on either sides. The aromatic hydrogen atom are in the expected range, but in the aliphatic chain 13H and 14H values are decreases due to the attachment of fluorine atom in the title molecule. In NBIO analysis, the most probable transition of the molecule are in pi to pi star transition because of the carboxylic acid. The docking analysis shows that the molecule acts as an antioxidant enzyme. Thank you.
Tremendous performance. Your presentation gives a creativity and improve the knowledge. Thank you, Kirtana. I welcome Mrs. S. Soundarya to present the topic of quantum computational method. We welcome you to start the presentation.
Good evening to one and all present here. Myself Soundarya from Kanjuma Munivar PG Studies, Laspet, Puducherry. In this presentation, I am going to present computational evolution on molecular structure, charge, NMR, electronic properties, and spectroscopic profiling of 6-fluorochromone, 3-carboxylate with molecular docking studies. Next. DFT is a quantum computational method used to investigate the electronic structure in particular atoms, molecules, and the condensed phases. 6311 plus G D, B is the basis set used in my studies. Next. I am using this characterization techniques NMR, FTIR, FT-Raman, UV visible for my compounds. Next. Introduction. The optimized structure and the molecular formula, UPAC name, and the uses of the compounds are also given here. Next. Structural analysis. It is used to determine the bond length and bond angle. Usually the bond length of CC is 1.38 or 1.39 angstrom, but here some of the values of chromone ring and aldehyde group are 1.40, 1.49, 1.39 and 1.47 due to the presence of heterogeneous oxygen atom and oxygen atom outside the ring. All the CH values are in the expected range except C13 and H17 because C13 is attached to double bonded oxygen atom and chromone ring on either side. Next. Normally the bond angle around C are 120 degree or 109 degree. Due to the presence of fluorine and oxygen atom, the values are deviated in chromone ring and aldehyde group. Next. The experimental and theoretical NMR spectrum are shown here. The NMR table shows some of the chemical shift values 2C, 3C, 5C, 10C, 11C, and 12C are higher than the expected value due to the vicinity of fluorine and oxygen atom, and it enhances their biological properties. This higher chemical shift value corresponds to the charges anticipated by the NAC method. Next. All carbon atoms should have a negative value, but due to the presence of fluorine and oxygen atom, the whole charge values were disrupted. That is 2C, 5C, 10C, 12C in chromone ring are positive natural charge value, and 3C, 11C are positive in both Mulliken and natural charge value in chromone ring. In aldehyde group, 13C value is positive in Mulliken charge value. The prediction of positive charge is valid when compared to chemical shift reading. Next. The experimental and theoretical vibrational spectrums are shown here. Next. There are three modes of stretching vibration occur in this molecule. The wave number of aromatic and aliphatic CH stretching occur at 3100 to 2900 centimeter inverse, but the value observed here are higher due to the influence of oxygen atom. The expected CO stretching vibration values are 1750 to 1730 centimeter inverse. Here the computer and experimental values are higher and lower due to the delocalization of pi electrons. Normally, the CC stretching occur at 1600 to 1200 centimeter inverse. Here, the computed FTIR, FT Raman values are slightly deviated due to the presence of aldehyde group. Next, NBO analysis. The first 10 transitions are the most probable transitions for 6-fluorochromone 3-carboxyaldehyde. Among these 10 transitions, 3rd, 5th, and 10th transitions are found near the aldehyde group in chromone ring. 3rd and 5th transition belong to N2 sigma star transition, and 10th transition belongs to pi to pi star transition. Next, UV visible analysis. UV visible analysis is used to find the wavelength, excited energy, oscillator strength, and HOMO-LUMO contribution for both gas phase and solvent phase. The experimental peaks are found at 330, 283, 240 nanometers. The electronic transition, which corresponds to 330 nanometer, is due to N2 sigma star transition in aldehyde group. Next. The calculated energy of HOMO is minus 0.27, LUMO is minus 0.019, and the energy gap is minus 0.25 electron volt. The electronegativity, global hardness, and global softness electrophilicity index are also calculated. Next. Electrostatic potential, MEP. Electrostatic potential at different points on the surface of the molecule is called the MEP. In this figure, red color shows the negative region and blue color shows positive region. Negative region occur in the chromone ring of oxygen atom, and positive region occur in the fluorochromone of hydrogen atom. Next. Docking is the process of joining protein and the ligand. Here the ligand 6-fluorochromone 3-carboxyaldehyde is docked with protein 1NHG with binding energy minus 6.5 at 3 different sites with distance 3.1, 3.0, 2.8 angstrom. The image shows the aldehyde group of the molecule binds with the target protein strongly through hydrogen bonds. Next. In my work, the FTIR, FT Raman, FT-NMR, and UV visible spectrum analysis of the compounds are recorded in the prescribed ranges. The structural analysis in 6-fluorochromone 3-carboxylate shows the chromone ring and the aldehyde group are varied due to the presence of oxygen atom. The charge and the NMR analysis also shows the changes C2, C3, C5, C10, and C13 in 6FC3C due to the substitutional groups. CH, CC, CO vibrational modes are enhanced in 6FC3C. The NVO HOMO-LUMO analysis shows that the most electronically active site of the molecule lies over oxygen atom in 6FC3C. The UV visible analysis is due to N2 sigma star and pi to pi star transition in the molecules. The docking of the molecule is found in oxygen atom in the chromone ring and aldehyde group in 6-fluorochromone 3 carboxylaldehyde through hydrogen bonds. Thanking you.
Spectacular performance. Your presentation amazes you by looking at yourself without any distraction. So we learned lot of information. Thank you, Soundarya. Thank you to all for listening, for inspiration, and for encouragement. Once again, thanks to the hard work that all the presenters have done to make the possible and what you witnessed and really their efforts and hard work. Thank you all for your kind attention to making this conference a resounding success. I invite Ms. Fasla from Department of Computer Science to welcome our guest Daniel from Crisp University, Bangalore.
I feel honored and glad to invite Dr. D. Daniel to this international conference on multidisciplinary research as guest of honor, who is an assistant professor at the School of Engineering and Technology, Christ University, Bangalore, the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In addition to being a keynote speaker, he is a talented mentor. Among his publications are 2 Indian patents as well as a patent granted to him in Australia entitled a method of improving resilience in embedded IoT networks by fault forecasting. Moreover, he was awarded Rs 5,000 from ISTE twice for national level workshops he conducted. Between the years 2015 and 2021, he gave several guest lectures and organized workshops, FTPs, FTTs at Dr. NGP Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. With a keen interest in technology, he has developed a number of projects. The Android-based web application CAPS, delivered to one of the centers of Christ University, is among those of note in 2019. He worked as the coordinator of the Dr. NGP IT IOSTA Technology Incubation Center. In both academic and non-academic realms, he is sincerely responsible. His papers have been cited 49 times with a Google Scholar H index of 4 and 29 times with a Scopix H index of 3. Since 2011, he has presented at numerous international conferences covering a wide range of topics. Furthermore, he has also published several peer-reviewed papers in Scopus indexed journals. Dr. Daniel is a talented researcher, a dedicated leader in his area of expertise, and a voice for the millennials. We request the honor of your presence, sir.
Screen. So hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, sir. You are audible and visible.
Thank you. It's a very good evening to all. It's a lengthy day and exhaustive presentations on various disciplines, various research scholars, undergraduates and postgraduates who are interested in research have presented their life's work and their article. So it's good to know around 30 plus odd papers or articles has been presented today. It's interesting, and I thought rather than to present a technical content, it would be innovative, also an informative session on presenting the title on intellectual property rights. So there are research happening everywhere at every stages, as we have witnessed today under undergraduate, post graduation, and also at the PhD level. We call the researchers, right? So happens everywhere. So what is research? So what innovative we have, what innovative idea that we can present, what novelty we can bring in so that we can make a process efficient and we can take it to a common man. So that's what we intend to do on our research. So these ideas are very much valuable. These ideas, mainly the students' ideas, are converted into later products, and that's been done with the whole business mind. A business model is being built, and they make a product out of it, and they sell it for crores and crores. So idea should be preserved at all time. So being a research crowd here in this forum, you must know how to preserve your intellectual property, so called your innovative ideas, which you are under research performance, right? To set so, I'll continue with my presentation for another couple of minutes so that in a fast way I can present you what's needed and what is your crisp takeaway from my presentation. So it all started with in somewhere in 1967, the World Intellectual Property Organization was established to have a concern on preserving these ideas. So they had a headquarters at Geneva, Switzerland. So how they started functioning? So each region started to establish its own intellectual firm. Even India, we have our own intellectual firm. So we call it as IPR, intellectual property rights, right? And we go by our own Indian IPR law, so which says intellectual property law in India, which runs under a ministry, specific ministry. So we have various sub officers and judicial framework is being done so that this entire process of preserving innovative ideas are taken down the lane over the period of years. So that's where we are up to. So this is the right time to talk about how to preserve these innovative ideas. So these ideas are converted into various strategies. So before which we should know what are the classifications. So how is an innovative idea can be given birth to? So how can I know that whether that idea is value enough to preserve, whether my idea is known to other people, whether my idea has been taken and reused again by other people without my prior approval? So how do we know this? So in order to know this, we should have the clear knowledge on what is intellectual property and its classification. So it's broadly classified into two. One is called as tangible, another one is called as intangible. So tangible is the ideas that you convert into a working product, which you can touch and you can feel. For example, a new car, a new bike, a machine that makes what do you call a robotic arm processing, which would help a person in need, such as who has a walking disability. So these ideas, which could be a product which we can touch and feel, is called as tangible. And there are other one called as intangible, where our idea, most probably this comes under artistics, right? The songs, the poems that we write, right? The drawings that we make, right? Which are not would be a perfect form of touch and feel, but it's a good design and idea that have to be preserved. So to have it a crisp on mind, tangible, which we can touch and feel; intangible, where we can't touch, but it's an entire idea by design. So this intellectual property on intangibility is it has two major subclassifications. One is industrial design, another one is copyrights, right? Most probably you guys would have heard about industrial design. So something like we call it as trademark, copyrights, registered trademark, right? Somewhere on the branded names you can see a symbol called as R with a circle on it, so meaning it's a registered product, right? It's a trademark. The name and the logo is trademark. We can't copy it, right? That shows their genuinity, right? If you're copying it, then there comes a question on the integrity of the entire product by quality, right? So the industry design has subparts which are called as patents, which are called as industry designs. Another one is called as trademarks, and last it's called as geographical indications, which is GI, right? So we'll just quickly go through what are these contents. So I'll take you through what is patents, industry designs, trademarks, and geographical indications, right? So to start with, how to understand what is IPR works around, right? As I told, our Indian government has a separate ministry under it. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, right? A controller, a high general is being placed, who is in charge of running this entire show. He takes care of patents, design, and trademarks. So patent office is being displayed or it's been deployed at major metro cities around India, right? So now it's pan India. You can go into any patent office. So they're called it as IP office, right? So intellectual property office. So where you can do all the four of this work, you can go into any IP office. You can do patenting, you can do copyrights, you can do trademarks, and you can also register your design, your industrial design, right? So earlier it was each one had a different location. So patent could be done only on specific location. Again, trademarks could be done in only specific offices. So now it's not like that. After 2018, everything is made pan-Indian. So all the offices supports for all your idea preserving activities such as patent, copyrights, GI, etc. Right? So you can see in the slide that where are these offices are available, right? So taking care. So what is this idea? Then how long if I register? So how long I can have a valid or have a authority over it or a ownership over it? So patent, if it is granted, you can have a ownership of 20 years, but for every year you have to renew it. For every year you have to renew it. That's mandatory. So after 20 years, if you are not renewing it, so between these 20 years, even if you are not renewing it, that's not going to make a difference. But after 20 years, crossing 20 years, within a span of 6 months, you have to renew it. If you're not renewing it, your entire patented idea would be available for the public and public can take and use it. So I can give a one good example, right? Many of you would have seen Maruti Baleno, the model Maruti Baleno, right? So you can see a same designed car in another brand called as Toyota, which is called as Glanza, I think so, right? You will have a look and feel of the entire design. And initially Maruti Suzuki came up with a design and they patented it, and that patent was valid till 8 years of period. So after 8 years, this design was left off by Maruti Suzuki. Now that same design has been taken up by Toyota because it's in the public forum and the validity is over. They have not gone for a renew. So Toyota took that design and they came up forward with their own car and they named it as Glanza, right? So next comes your trademark. So trademark is once registered, it's a lifetime validity, but after 10 years, you have to make another renewal. So industry design, it's for 15 years together. So after completing 10 years, then you have to renew it for the next 5 years. Copyrights doesn't have a expiry date. It is worth for 60 years. Even if you live or die, your copyright and the validity for that particular copyright will pertain for 60 years. Next comes the GI, geographical indications. So that also it's a lifetime validity, but again you have to renew it every 10 years. Meaning, what is geographical indications are regional oriented specific or specialized products. For example, Mysore silk, they call it as Mysore silk, right? So why do they have the name Mysore silk? So it's something specific of the breed of cocoons. They breed for a silk and they get it only at that particular place, right? So Nagpur orange, they call it as Nagpur orange, the breed of certain orange which grows at Nagpur. So that's why they call it as Nagpur orange, right? You can grow those only at Nagpur, and what's being distributed there from Nagpur, we can get it in any other places. But what's bred at Nagpur is called as Nagpur orange, and you can't breed that Nagpur orange at any other place and claim it to be a Nagpur orange, right? So this is something related to nature and a locality or a region where if the resource is being depleted, some cases it's depleted. So every 10 years we have to renew, say that these resources still exist. For example, after 15 to 20 years, see there are no weavers who do Kanchipuram silks, right? Then we can't claim it as Kanchipuram silks anymore. The production of any silks that happens over there, we can't claim it as Kanchipuram silks, right? So that's why it need renewal of every 10 years. So that's the validity of every IPR that we have in India. So to understand, one product can have multiple registration. For example, you can take a Coca-Cola soft drink. The logo of the Coca-Cola, right? It has a specific design. Coca-Cola, it's written in a specific format with a specific color. It can be trademarked. They have trademarked. Nobody else can copy this particular name in the same font or in the same color or for the same name. The shape of the bottle they use. This bottle is something specific to their brand. Only the Pepsi and Co have this structure of bottles. Many of you would have observed that, and that comes under industrial designing. Patent is something too much technical involved, right? How do you manufacture that particular bottle in a particular shape is where the technicality comes in the production. right? So there, the entire process of making or manufacturing such a shaped water soft drink bottle comes under patent. So copyright is what design they have, what information that they have on their website or on their labels. So all these things can be copyrighted. So one particular product can have multiple ideas conveyed and registered for their own. So an example to understand, right? So coming quick to what is patent. So patent is something granted by Government of India. Every government has its own patent office, right? Not government, meaning national governments. For example, we as a country, India, we have our own legislation under patents. As such, if we go to South Korea, they have their own norms and regulations for patenting. If you walk into USA, then you have a patenting office over there where they follow a different set of regulations. But if you want to file a patent, it can be filed in every single country. If you file it in India, that doesn't mean that the same idea can be filed, or the same idea can't be filed in any other country. It can be done. So that's the claim that has been rising in the past few years between Apple smartphone and Samsung. Like most of you would have heard that controversy, and there's a fair amount of justice has been also given, right? So the design of the Apple iPhone has been registered under US, where a same structure of smartphones were designed by Samsung in South Korea. So now there's a controversy that Apple says that these guys have copied my design, where now they stand by a policy stand where South Korea says that we have registered the same idea under South Korean patent office, right? So that's the plus point or the added advantage we have. But again, you have some restrictions. Being an Indian, you can't just walk into any other country and file your patent over there. You can't file a patent in South Korea, or you can't file a patent in USA without a prior approval from Indian patent office. So if you want to go outside India to file your patent or your idea, you have to get the approval from Indian patent office before, and then you can walk out of India and file your ideas over there. And there is one other mandatory point. These are the criteria in which you can file your patent, and these are the criteria that you are not supposed to do, right? So kindly pay attention to the first one. You can have a novelty in your idea. You can have innovative steps or process which should not be obvious. You can have some industrial capable applications. So these are the places, or these are the things that you can patent it. What you can't patent it, if something is obvious. For example, the way in which I ride my cycle, or the way in which I walk in a platform, right? So these things, the way in which I drink a coffee, right? Everybody drinks the coffee in the same way, one way or another. Everybody walks the same on a platform one way or another, right? So that can't be patented. Certain actions that involves obvious, or that's been there as a habitat, can't be patented, right? A well established natural law can't be patented. If any idea that's injurious to a public health or which spoils the peace in the public can't be patented. Anything that you do or discover which is illegal to what do you call a medical grounds, on a medical grounds, you can't file it, right? So all these things comes into picture. One most important thing is anything that you do with atomic energy, or anything that you do with any kind of energy that you try to convert it into a weapon, is not patentable. So these are the do's and don'ts. These are the things that you can patent it, and there are certain things that you can't patent it. So what is trade industrial design? As I told, any aspect of design that can be registered. So that's called industrial design. One example that we saw is the Coke bottle.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, madam.
We are not able to see the slideshow, sir. The screen has been shared, but it is in the design view itself.
Okay. I'll stop it and I'll share it again, madam. Just confirm me.
Okay.
Is it visible now, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just to run a quick through, so intellectual properties can be filed under two types. One is tangible and intangible. Tangible is touch and feel. Intangible is something that we can't touch and feel. So majorly we will end up in patent, industrial design, trademarks, and GI. So moving on to the next important things. So as I told, in patent, we have the categories where we can convert these ideas into patent. So these are some ideas that can be converted, and there are certain restrictions which should not be converted into a patent, right? For example, the existence of nature of law, which can't be patented. And there are some energies that can be converted into legal weapons. So again, those things also can't be patented. So if you are starting any research on atomic level, atomic energy, or anything related to that, in order to weaponize it or for commercial purpose, it has to be a formal approval from the DRDO or from the higher up ministry, so that only we can start our initial work at the first place, and then we can proceed towards anything related to patent or copyrights. So industrial design. So as I told, industrial design, one example as Coke, right? Coke soft drinks, the water, the bottle of the Coke, right? So it has a specific design. So that design can be patented. So any 3D or 2D design for industrial application can be registered. So that's where our industrial design comes into picture, right? For example, to say a car, we can model a design, we can design a car and we can register it before even it's going for a production, right? But it should be unique. It should not have the same copy of another car which is existing, or it should not have the same features. Or even if you have the same features, then that comes under something called as the copyrights. It should have certain deviations so that you can bring it under copyrights. So some examples that I have put up in the screen. For example, you can design a particular shoe, right? The dress materials, the jewelries, the designed jewelries, right? Furnitures. So these things can be brought under a legal registration of industrial design, and which will be owned by the specific person who gets registered. Next comes the trademark. So trademark, again, branding, right? So we can take a name to make it as a registered trademark, a branding. We can take a logo and we can register so that it becomes a trademark for us, for our product, right? So that's what we call it as trademark. So any piece of device or symbol can be converted into a trademark. For example, an alphabet in a specific font, that's a unique font that nobody else in the world will have. If it's going to be the case, you can trademark it. You can even trademark certain combinations of colors. And if you are coming up with a certain infusion of colors which are very unique, you can even trademark that. Any font with any what do you call it? Any brand with a specific font on a specific color can be trademarked. So that's the level of trademark it gives. And these are some examples. As you can see, these are logos that's been trademarked, and we can't replicate these logos, and any logos that's been misused can be claimed under the legal IPC sections, and the penalty for these are very heavy. And next comes copyrights. So copyrights is the mere idea, right? So even we researchers do copyrights very easily. The cost of copyrights is around 500 to 600 rupees, where before you start your research, you have an idea, right? You would have done a literature survey and you have end up with some idea, and you have a model in place, right, which is in your mind and paper, right? You can take those ideas, convert it into a copyright, and you can register that copyright before going into a implementation. Once your implementation is done and you have a working model in hand, please don't go for journal publication or conference publication first. Go for patent publication first. Once your patents are published, then you can publish it as a book, you can publish it as a journal article, you can publish it as a blog in your website. Anything can be done after patenting it. The reason behind this is, once your idea or the work that you have done is been published as an article in conference publications, or in any book chapters, anything has been done out, then you can't patent it, because it's already made freely available, or it's already made available to a public forum. So you can't patent it. So you patent it first, then you go for any publication. So that's how this patent works, and that's how we preserve, right? So this copyright has some more kinds. One we call it as moral rights, and another one is called as economic rights. To have a very crisp and a clear understanding, moral rights are something like to have a moral value on copying certain things, right? So the right of authorship, the right of integrity, right? We don't take others' content and say that it's mine, right? We have to give the credibility to the person who has already created it. This is applicable for the classroom assignment that we do. It is applicable for the research papers that we write, the conference presentations that we do, any competitions that we do, or international journals, everything. It's applicable for everything. We can't take a workshop of another person and say or claim that it's mine. So that's what we call it as the right of integrity. We can't do that. So that comes under moral right. Whereas economic right is something there. If you're doing it and you are getting money out of it, that comes under economic rights. For example, to say if there is a book that is being published and say that someone has taken a copy of that book and they have put it in the Google, right, openly for everyone. So what we do is just search in Google and we say a PDF is available. We download that PDF and we start using it. So that's illegal. We should not do it. That's copyrighted. A author has copyrighted. We can't do it. We should legally license or buy the license of the book, get an original copy, and we have to use it. One other best example that we can say is the Windows operating system, which pirated versions of those are run again and again, which is again an illegal thing to do. If we are being caught, we have to face the legal consequences. So when it pays you money, that becomes much more serious. Up to 7 years of imprisonment can be made. If you are doing plagiarism, copying another author's content and claiming that it's yours, even if it is done for an assignment purpose, and say that by default or by mistake that assignment has been published in the internet, there are high chance that you can be a victim of legal actions. So what is the legal action that I speak about here frequently? It could be a minimum of 7 years of imprisonment. Your latest degree could be revoked back, and you might have to pay the royalty that the author, the original author, claims. That might be in lakhs or crores, who knows, right? So when it involves money, that comes on economic rights, and that will be viewed very seriously. So moving on to the next slide. So some copyrights and how we call it. If it's something literature, poets, right, poems that we write, we call it as authors. If it is a drama, a written drama, right, we can't copy it. So we call it as dramatist. Music as composer, photographers, cinematography films, and we call it as producers, and music directors, right, sound recording music directors or music producers. So these are some names. We should be very much careful in taking the images from Google also. Just like that, we search something and we take an image. So that image should not be a copyrighted image. If it's so, then we are into trouble. So even such things are paid much more attention. The last one is geographical indications, right? As I told, a region is specifically very much famous for certain products that is available only on that particular region. Then they register it under global geographical indications, what we call it as GI. Some examples to say, Darjeeling tea, Kanchipuram saris, right? Tirupati laddu, right? Nagpur Rajasthan. So these are some regional based products that we get, and that's unique for that particular place, and it's registered, right? So that's where we call it as geographical indications. So some examples that I can give in the next slide. So basmati rice, right? Some things which are very much specific to a particular location, right? So this is what we call it as a whole, we call it as IPR, intellectual property rights. So it's high time for us to register our ideas, right? So I'll tell you one case study. Many of you are using Ola app, right? A mobile application, Ola. It is purely a product, a student final year project that was done in an institution. But you think after 8 to 10 years, that has become $1 million industry, $1 million business. Correct? So a student project which is not registered that day, it was taken up by an industry and they have made it as a business model and they are running a business today. Same way, Swiggy, Zomato. So these are ideas of student which are not being preserved. So we teachers or we educators in educational sector should be more careful enough to preserve these ideas to come. So this is the main content and takeaway. If you have any queries, you can ask me, or else I'm good to go. I'll just take another 10 seconds. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the chat box or in the uh, over the mic. Okay, so I think so no queries around. So I take this opportunity to thank the management, uh, Sister Secretary, and Honorable Principal, and the HR, the convener of the entire conference, and the other dignitaries and the chief guest, and not to mention the researchers who have presented beautiful articles today. The day-long presentation have triggered us a way to look forward how to work around multiple disciplines. And a word of suggestion here, multiple disciplines were very much interesting. I was wondering how if these disciplines could work together. I could see one particular presentation coming up with queuing theory coming into server, right? How do we implement a queuing theory into the job scheduling or the CPU scheduling of a server, right? So if two different domains they come together, I still believe we can come up with a name replacing multiple disciplinary with interdisciplinary, right? So we have multiple disciplinary. Why can't we work together to make it interdisciplinary so that we can come up with much more innovative solutions which are much effective to the society, right? So last word to the gathering, any research that you do, make sure that it goes and benefits to a common man. If it doesn't do that, there's no worth in doing a research because already it's there, right? Already the need that we are trying to do are there. The person who has money and wealth, he can get it very easily. The person who doesn't have it, he might struggle for that. That makes the difference. Every solution as a researcher we provide must be able to reach a common man. So that should be our intention, so that an efficiency will be built on the entire research community or the practice that we do in the nationwide. It all will start from a basic institution such as like us. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
I cordially welcome Mrs. L. Catherine Lemoria from Department of Computer Science to deliver her vote of thanks.
Vote of thanks. A lovely and warm evening to our most valued and worthy guest, management committee, respected staffs, and beloved friends. It is a moment of pride for me that I am proposing a vote of thanks for this international conference. It is the biggest day in the history of our college. Today we have hosted the international conference. Once a great man whispered, feeling thankfulness and not expressing it, it's like wrapping a present and not giving it. Today I take the opportunity to put all my gratitude into words. Thanksgiving has wings and goes where it must go. Our prayer knows much more about it than you do. I, on behalf of my colleagues and the entire community, first and foremost, we thank the Lord Almighty who has designed and refreshed our souls with a sweet stream of blessings. His unfalling love keeps us march forwards towards better tomorrow. Gratitude can transform common days into thanksgivings, turn routine jobs into joy, and change ordinary opportunities into blessings. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. Our heartfelt thanks to our special chief guest, Dr. Sengol Merlin from USA, Dr. Daniel from Christ University, who spend their time for us in our corner of the world and share their ideas with us. Thank you, respected guests. Thank you is a small word because under our spiritual guidance, we experience God's love. I thank our respected Reverend Sister Sahayam, Secretary, Immaculate College for Women, Kadalur, who graces with her presence and guidance. Thank you, Sister. Thank you for her kind gesture, saying it from our heart. You helped right through from the start. Now that we have reached the way, we just have felt thanks to say. We have been fortunate to be assisted by our principal, Dr. M. Susila Devi, Immaculate College for Women, Kadlur. You have been a constant support and you have given us a lot of encouragement. Thank you, ma'am. Saying thank you is more than good manners, it is a good spirituality. We express our deep gratitude to our respected HR, Reverend Sister Dr. Maria Swami, Immaculate College for Women, Kadlur, for guiding all our activities and ensure that we always do the right thing in the right way. Lucky is what happens when participation meets opportunity. An event like this cannot be happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago with planning. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by the team of motivated and dedicated colleagues in the completion of tasks. Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. Heartily congratulations for all the presenters and participants for their active participation in this international conference. Stay positive and keep believing better things are ahead. Thank you.
We the Immaculates want to shine stars. We the Immaculates want to shine stars. We the powerful women. We the great queens. We the powerful women. We the great queens.
We are strong in mind and heart.
We the Immaculates.
We are courageous women.
We the Immaculates. We the Immaculates. Born to shine stars. We the Immaculates. Born to shine stars.
Everything we do it with passion. Everything we do it with passion. We will be more than women, more than women, more than enough for all. Oh yes, more than women. We the Immaculates, born to shine stars. We the Immaculates, born to shine stars.
We want it, we stand alone it, we dream it, we work hard, we grind till we want it. We the Immaculates, born to shine stars.
The truth is our sound.
We the Immaculates,
They see us flying colors.
we the Immaculates.
We have a voice, we have a mind, we have a soul, none can control. Yes,
We have a voice, we have a mind, we have a soul, none can control.
Our motto:
Learn, light and liberate.
learn, light, and liberate.
We the Immaculates, born to shine stars. We the Immaculates,